Welcome back to Tony's Pizza Event Center. Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel in the booth. Brian Berner on the field. Big Sam Pretty producing and engineering back at KINA Radio. It's Eagle Radio Salina. For just the second time, we have a semifinal playoff game here in consecutive seasons for the Salina Liberty. They did it in 2019 and earned the right to go to Albuquerque to play the Duke City Gladiators in the 2019 Champions Bowl. Of course, last year, a year off with no football because of the pandemic, and here we are again, Russ. 2021, Liberty back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center under the direction of Ferran O'Neill and Coach Jorge Martinez, and a chance to earn a pass back to the championship game. And if they can get that accomplished here tonight against the Dodge City Law, they will host a championship game 1 week from tonight against an opponent which we now know will be the Omaha Beef. They were victorious last night against the Sioux City Bandits at Ralston Arena in Omaha, 40-39. You get the vibe in the building when we walked in, and it was early this afternoon. There's something that has been different today than any other day. This team is very good, don't get me wrong. They're 10-1 on the season, but things have been escalated a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been escalated a lot. The players' attitudes were just different as we were interacting with them down there before the game, talking to them. And I don't know, excitement might be the word. These guys are excited. We just saw player intros. You saw the first ballot Hall of Famer come out, and all the guys go nuts that play for him. They love playing for this guy. They love playing for this town, and they know this is the biggest game of the year.
Brian Berner, you're on the field for each and every game, and you get to sit right close, really close proximity to the Salina Liberty bench. And I would say not only with Russ and his evaluation of excitement, I would say an extreme amount of focus.
Definitely, they are focused more so now than I've seen them any point of the season. I think it's a situation, they know what's at stake, and it's a situation also, I don't want to say they're looking ahead, but having Omaha on the other side of that championship game is an incentive for both teams.
Captain's out on the field now as we participate in the coin toss. And the Hall of Famer, Ferran O'Neill, his father, actually participating in the coin toss. Coach O told us in pregame off the air that this is just the third time his father has seen him coach. Of course, we had to ask what Dad's record was, and it's 1-1, so we can't really put a loss or a win on his shoulders, but glad to see Coach O's dad here, and of course his wife Nisha here in the arena as well. And it's just an exciting time, I know, for Coach O, coming off of a big contract extension. He has dedicated himself to this team and this franchise for 4 more years after this year. You can win a ring and walk away. That's one thing. And, just kind of looking down the road at what may happen. But he is also not satisfied with that. He said he has started something here in Salina along with Coach Martinez that they want to continue on. And we hear the words multiple championships and doing that. But he also knows at the same time you have to win the first one, Russ, and that's something that has not been done in Salina. Back in 2013, when the Salina Bombers came into this arena, they qualified for the championship game against the Wichita Wild in their very first season of existence. They got beat soundly in that game, and then things went downhill from there.
Yeah, and you hear the phrase, sorry, Devin,
No,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you off there, but one and done. And you can just tell in the relationship that these guys and that we've got to know Coach Ferran O'Neill, you got to get there and win the first one. But like you said, he wants the train roll effect. We want more. 1 is not enough. 2 is not enough. I've committed myself here. I want 1 every year.
He is a very focused individual. We definitely enjoy talking to him. As you said, the players love playing for him. And now we are just about ready to get this one underway. Salina Liberty did win the coin toss. They have deferred. They will kick to start this game, and they will kick to the Dodge City Law. Jimmy Allen will tee it up multiple time. Special Teams Player of the Week for Salina Liberty. 3-time Player of the Week in Special Teams for the Liberty will take the football from the official, and he will get ready to tee it up. Nobody back deep yet for the Dodge City Law. Now retreating back into the end zone will be Gerald Thomas, the wide receiver for the Law. Jimmy Allen ready to get this one underway. Glad you could join us, however you may be watching or listening to Salina Liberty and Dodge City Law football. This one takes a bad bounce. It goes over Thomas's head. He has to retreat all the way in the back of the end zone, gets out to the 1, now fumbles the football, and it's in the end zone. No, he didn't fumble the football, but did he get out? They're going to say the 1-yard line is where he's going to make forward progress. I saw a glove come out, and it looked like a football came loose. And they're going to spot the Dodge City Law at the 5-yard line. So that gratuitous rule of you can't start deeper than your own 5 really helps out the Dodge City Law on that first kick.
Yeah, and supporting the new uniforms tonight, the Salina Liberty going all white with the Statue of Liberty on the front, the stars down the pants. Guys go flying down there. It did look like the ball got fumbled because I thought the exact same thing.
So Dodge City will start here on offense. They will be facing the front three defensive linemen of Travis Taylor on the right end, Jake Latimer on the left end, Rusty Becker right in the middle. Naquan Thomas and Brayshawn Stewart will back them up at linebacker. Two linebacker set for the Salina Liberty. Here's the snap. It's supposed to be a read option. I think the running back went the wrong way, and the quarterback for the Law will pay. Jalen Lowe held the football out to absolutely nobody, and Rusty Becker was there to greet him, the Bear from Cal. Jake Latimer in a little bit of a skirmish over here with one of the offensive linemen, Dominic Logan, for the Law.
And Lowe getting the start at quarterback. We've seen this Dodge City team go with Ramsey a lot and Lowe back and forth, and usually one settles in and will finish the game for Dodge City.
Lowe played most of the way in their last game against the Wyoming Mustangs, but only threw 15 passes, completing 10 of them. He'll take the shotgun snap here. One of the receivers with a running start will take the football all the way up to the 14-yard line before he's tackled by Dontre Matthews. That will be a gain of 9 and bring up 3rd down and 1. On that carry for the Law was Cameron Booty. He is the league rushing title holder for the regular season. He beat out Tracy Brooks from the Liberty by 15 yards. Brooks did have one more rushing touchdown than Cameron Booty.
And Booty kind of came out of nowhere at the end of the season and just blasted onto the scene.
He had a good second half, no doubt about that. Here's Booty again in motion. He gets a running start. Going to come at the line of scrimmage. Little stutter step. He'll have the first down to the 17. Still on his feet to the 20, 21. And then hit hard there and taken down by Travis Taylor and Naquan Thomas. Big bonus yards there by Cameron Booty as he brought it out to the 22-yard line. And Brian Berner, a little bit of a different look here by the Law. They do have that extra offensive lineman, but their running back getting a running start.
Well, the running back is a situation that when they're coming in, you know, like you said, Booty's the guy that's led the league, but they're putting the other guys in motion, kind of trying to decoy that extra lineman that's in there as the back.
First down and 10 for the Law. They're at their own 22-yard line. Back to Lowe. Now again, handoff to Booty. Cameron will bring it across the midfield stripe at the 25. Plunge ahead to the 24, moving it into Salina territory, and it will be 2nd down and 6 coming up. Opening drive, semifinal matchup. Liberty and Law. We also learned a bit of information before the game that the Dodge City Law after this season are going to go away.
Yeah, we talking to the Dodge City radio guy said they're going under new ownership, new name, new everything.
That will be interesting as well. 2nd down and 6. Here's Lowe with the shotgun snap. Couple guys in motion. He's going to take it himself, and he will bring it to the right-hand side. Gain of 2.5 on the play, and he will be brought down at the 22-yard line.
Dodge City went this look both times against Salina, bringing that extra offensive lineman in for a blocker as a run-heavy offense. In exchange, Teron O'Neill, this might be the first time we've seen this. Usually we see Dontre Matthews up there with Naquan Thomas at middle linebacker. Now Brayshawn Stewart being brought up so Dontre can cover the back end.
Big 3rd down coming up. It'll be a 3rd down and a long 2, maybe even 3. Teron O'Neill asking for the aid of this crowd. Liberty defense stringing on a play all the way to their left-hand side, and this play will go nowhere. It's a loss of 1 by the Dodge City Law. Jake Latimer and Travis Taylor leading the way as they did not let Cameron Booty have anything on that right edge. Now the Law will be forced into a 4th down.
Yeah, last in the league at 16 for 31 on 4th down. Or sorry, first in the league at 52% is what I have.
Last game against Wyoming, they were 0 of 7 on 3rd down, just like that play right there. However, they were 3 of 4 on 4th down.
Yeah, leading into that stat of 52% on 4th down, leading the league this year.
Still scoreless. Dodge City looking to keep this drive alive. 4th down and 4. Couple of guys in motion, one crossing under the quarterback, Ron O'Neill, asking for a flag as Dodge City had to delay a game. There was a big goose egg on that play clock. I think coach is also asking about 3 guys in motion.
Yes. And now we'll see kicker Brett Mathis come on and attempt, which Brett, a very accurate kicker in this league.
Yeah, Brett, one of the best in the league. We talk about those new flamed Unos that on the kickoff, you can get it through the uprights, you get a point. He had 4 of those in one game earlier this season for the Law. This placement will be put down for Brett at the 16-yard line. Movement up front. Jake Latimer changed his stance. The offensive lineman went with him. It will be interesting to see who tags this flag here. Latimer backing up, thinks it may be on him, and it is. Yep. Offsides on Jake Latimer. That will give 5 yards back to the law. So now do they bring their offense back on?
Right, and maybe not so much offsides, but if a defensive player reaches their hand or comes out of their stance, regardless if they go offsides or not, it is a penalty for illegal defense procedure, however you want to look at it for the defensive side of the ball. It looks like they're going to leave Mathis out on the field.
Mathis this time kicking from the 21. It's a 37-yard attempt. Snap high, they get it down. Mathis will put his foot into it, end over end kick. Finds a home right in the middle of the upright. So Dodge City will take the opening kick. They go to midfield, then they stall out with that running game, and they are off to a 3-0 start. Now the Liberty Brian Burner will have their chance on offense, trailing by 3.
Andy, you remember the last time that these two teams met, Salina got the ball. Kid was quarterback, but they took a long, quick strike down to Ed Smith for the touchdown. We'll see what happens. How patient will Coach O'Neill be? Will he want to try to establish that running game with Carson and Brooks? Will he want to try to kind of go downfield? He's got Shelley in there. So we'll see, what will happen as they go forward after this kickoff comes. Brett Mathis again has that ability. He's got the leg. We'll see how much he wants to roll that dice to see if he wants to try to go for that extra point.
Interesting, in the two games, both of them in May against the Dodge City Law, Salina had two different quarterbacks. The time that Tyree Adams played against them in Dodge, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. When they came here Memorial Day weekend, Mitch Kidd was the guy. Magic Mitch had 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. So the Liberty quarterbacks combined this year against that Law defense, 10 touchdowns passing, 1 interception. By the way, Ed Smith has been a Dodge City Law killer this year with 5 touchdowns in 2 games. Here's Mathis on the kick, shaded the football all the way over to his right-hand side. It's going to take a bounce right in front of Tracy Brooks. Tracy has it at the 20. Stutter step, water bug, all the way to the 25. Spin move there. Now to the 20, inside the 20, to the 15-yard line. And a good return there by TB2. Tracy Brooks brings it all the way to the 15-yard line, and that is where Tyree Adams and this Liberty offense will have their first drive start.
Yeah, Tracy Brooks shedding the first would-be tackler, 2 or 3 after that. Just a hard guy to bring down, and you can tell having Dominic Carson's back deep kind of changes the game. We saw Dominique out in the return game. The run game has all been affected, and now that both running backs and everybody on this Liberty team is healthy.
Drive will start at the 16-yard line in Dodge City territory. First down and 10. Tyree Adams, Tracy Brooks on his right-hand side. It's a pitch out right. Brooks cuts back behind Kamali Matthews. He has some space. Tracy Brooks all the way against the wall, has an 8-yard gain. Well, they're going to spot him a little bit shorter than that. They're going to say a gain of 6, maybe even 7. But there was Kamali Matthews just paving the way on the right-hand side of that offensive line.
And that's a guy you want to run behind regardless of what running back you are and what league you play in. If you can get a guy like Kamali Matthews to run behind, he's going to clear space.
Kamali up front, his 3rd game back with the Liberty. Kelvin McCoy's played every game at center for the Salina Liberty. Nick Bittinger to the left. Tyree Adams this time has Tracy Brooks to his left-hand side. All 3 receivers also that side. Tracy Brooks will run away from them. Inside of the 5 to the 4, first down Liberty. It will be first and goal from the 4-yard line for Salina. 8:49 left to play, first quarter. Dodge City took their opening drive for a field goal. Salina working on their first drive of the game. Long huddle here by the Liberty. Still plenty of time left on the play clock. Tyree Adams engineering this offense. Steinwalks, Smith, Bird all to the left. Now Adams will go under center. Tracy Brooks alone, setback, bubble screen out to Bird. He has some space, looking for that end zone, reaching for the goal line, and a score. Waheem Bird, the Birdman, is going to dance it off in the end zone as the Liberty go down the field and score 6 on their opening drive of the night.
Yeah, and Waheem Bird really come on the kind of late in that first half towards the end when Mitch Kidd come in and found him as his favorite target. Now we see Tyree continuing the plunder, knowing, let me get the ball to Bird. He can get in the end zone.
Doesn't get any easier than that. Just a little hitch screen out to the left. Smith and Steinwalks became blockers, and Waheem Bird just followed the crowd into the end zone. 7:42 left to go. Jimmy Allen on for the extra point. Calvin McCoy will snap it back to Tracy Brooks for the hold. Brooks sees that Allen is ready. Asks for the snap. It's a good one from McCoy. Kick is up, and it's right down the middle.
Oh.
Now a penalty flag will fly.
They're pointing at the defense, and Dodge City coach not happy with one of his players after that.
Richard Davis in to talk to one of his players. They're going to say illegal defense. Of course, Liberty will decline that, take the points, and that'll bring us to our first media timeout. 7:28 left to go. First quarter, each team has had a possession. The Liberty lead at 7-3 here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. You listen to it on KINA. Welcome back to Tony's Pizza Event Center. Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berner. We just watched the Liberty go down the field. Short field, 16-yard drive, and score the first touchdown of the game. 7:28 left to go here in the opening quarter. Last night, if you missed it, the Omaha Beef at Ralston Arena defeated the Sioux City Bandits 40-39. Very close back and forth game, and at the end, it was the Omaha Beef that was able to hold off Sioux City. Sioux City scored to bring it within one. And then a spike in the end zone on a touchdown celebration. The ball bounced into the stands. That, of course, by the visiting team, calls for a flag. So then the Omaha Beef were able to push Sioux City back, making their extra point kick and the tie for the game even more difficult. The kick went wide right, and Omaha advances. Here's Jimmy Allen on the kick. Bounces at the 20. Now back to the 10-yard line. Here comes the return. It's Gerald Thomas. Thomas angles to the right-hand side. He's brought down at about the 23. So our second look at this Liberty defense. Again, they'll go with Taylor, Latimer. This time, Ishawn Funny will come in and play over center. He'll be the defensive tackle. Naquan Thomas, Rashawn Stewart in the middle. Dontre Matthews, Kendrick Harper, Isaiah Barfield are your corners.
Yeah, one guy you won't hear for Salina, Shaq Bradford, being a scratch off of this game. So kind of going with a 5 defensive lineman instead of 6 like Ron O'Neill's used to.
Coach O said he spent, of the 14 days to get ready, 13 and a half of them contemplating that decision.
Yeah.
The youngster from K-Dub. Here's the give to Cameron Booty. Attacks the line of scrimmage. He's tripped up by Naquan Thomas and then finished off by Rashawn Stewart. Got it maybe 2 yards on the play. Flirted with the 25-yard line. It'll be second down and long.
And yet to see Dodge City throw the ball. You know, it's something we expected coming into this game. Dodge City not really, like you said, throwing the ball 15 times in their last game. And just pack the box, contain the defense, keep them in the middle where everybody's at.
Yeah, not only did they only throw the ball 16 times altogether, because Ramsey had a throw in there too. He went 1 of 1. And as I say that, they're going to throw the ball out to Carr on the right-hand side. He's going to be taken down at the 15 for a first down. But Dodge City also fumbled the ball 3 times in that Wyoming game. But their defense really picked them up against the Mustangs and a chance to move into the playoffs. Their defense had 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumbles recovered.
And Dodge City heavy on the ground, only averaging 167.9 yards a game, which is kind of low in the indoor, giving up 205.6 on the defensive end of the ball.
Jalen Lowe has his huddle broke. First down and 10. Nose of the football at the 15-yard line. They're in Salina territory, trailing by 4. Here's the shotgun snap. Read option to Booty. Lowe's going to take it. Spins off at point of attack. Brayshawn Stewart had him dead in the rights, and Lowe will twist and turn, get his way inside the 15 for a gain of 2.
And just what you want to see out of your defensive end, Jake Latimer holding contained, taking the guy he's supposed to, which kept low to keep the ball for a short gain.
Crowd getting into it here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Second down at 8. Football setting at the 13-yard line. Dontre Matthews asking for more voice from his crowd. Dietrich now communicating with Kendrick Harper on the left-hand side. Talking before the game, I think Kendrick Harper may be the only one on this team that has a ring. Of course, he got that with the Wichita Wild. Here's a play-action pass. Lowe now going to tuck it, run inside the 10, inside the 5. He has the goal line. Jalen Lowe on a rushing touchdown. Puts Dodge City back out in front by 2 as we go under the 5-minute mark. And Brian, that one was coming right at you with Jalen Lowe for the score.
Yeah, it was coming straight towards me. That time, you know, it looked like Travis Taylor had an opportunity to try to get him, but just a quick cut, then a clear path to the end zone. So one of the situations you're going to kind of, if they try to go to that pass, with only those 2 linebackers in there, it kind of opens up a space right in the middle, and Dodge City was able to exploit that.
Brett Mathis on for the extra point. It is up and it is good. Good penetration there by the Liberty defense, but they are unable to get there, and Mathis will punch it through with 4:14 left to go. Another media timeout is yours. Dodge City with the score. Their first touchdown of the night. They now lead Salina 10-7 right here on KINA. Dodge City leads it 10-7 on the strength of a 13-yard touchdown run by quarterback Jalen Lowe. Already 10 points on the board for Dodge City, Russ, and they are 25% or more on the way to their average on the season. This is a team that only averages 37 points a game on offense.
Yeah, quick scoring for Dodge City, not something like you said you see, and giving up almost 40 a game, so kind of lopsided there. The defense for Salina, the rushing defense, kind of stagnant right now. I don't know what Dodge City's averaging rush, but it seems 3-4 yards, and you give up 4 yards every play, they're going to get a first down on the third play. As defense will need to change, but give it to Dodge City's offense. They're running right at Salina and not afraid of them.
Brian Richard Davis is always one of those guys. He will come up with a different scheme, something that you just don't see all the time, or at least very often. Seems like he's done the same thing here against Salina, and at least early on in this game.
Yeah, and one of the things that really kind of shocked me was Lamont McDonald, the 6'3", 360-pound offensive lineman. Caught a couple passes this season against Salina. He's on the inactive list. As crazy as it sounds, you potentially lose an offensive threat when you remove a guy that big from your line.
Yeah. Lamont seems like always has good games against Salina, other than maybe getting the staple in his hand on his home field when we played there on May 9th. But he has always done a pretty good job, even scored a touchdown or two against Salina this season so far in their first games. Brett Mathis has it teed up again. This time he's going to put the football in the middle of the field, right between the hash marks, and he will kick it away to Dominic Carson, who waits back deep. This one's going to hop over the head of Tracy Brooks and then go over the wall. Carson never gets a shot at it, and this one's going to come all the way back to where it hopped, and it's going to be, the official says, the 6-yard line. So really good kick there by Brett Mathis.
And Brett Mathis and Dodge City maybe was their game plan. They not once have tried to kick it back deep to Dominic Carson. Everyone's been angled, the last two angled at the wall towards Tracy Brooks. And Brett Mathis, you can't ask for a better kickoff than that.
1st and 10 for the Liberty. They'll come out now for their second possession of the game. 4:10 left to play here in the first quarter. And the Liberty trail it by 3, 10-7, Dodge City Law with the lead. Kelvin McCory reaches down the southpaw center, grabs the football, ready to snap it back in the shotgun, empty backfield to Tyree Adams. Tyree backs up in his own end zone, looking, now he's going to leave the pocket. Has to get through 2 defensive linemen, he will, but then the linebacker, actually, that's the right defensive end for Dodge City, Demaria Mixon from the University of Tennessee, got him from behind, and that was an awkward-looking blow to Tyree Adams.
Yeah, real awkward fall there for Tyree. I thought at least right there he had a lot of green in front of him, and a great job by the defensive lineman to run him down from behind.
Gain of 7 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 3. Steinwalk splits out to the left. It'll be Smith and Bird in motion. Tracy Brooks on the right hip of Adams. Tyree back to pass. The ends get through. They let him through on the attempted screen, but it was broken up very nicely up front by one of Dodge City's defensive linemen. It's really their defensive leader on the season on that line. It's Lance Mathers. Mathers has had a really good year.
Yeah, and he read that like a book. If Tyree could have just got it over him, I don't even know if there was a chance to get it around him or over him, as he was right there in front of Tracy Brooks.
6 foot, 280-pounder from Northwestern Oklahoma State. Now a big 3rd down here for the Liberty, 3rd and 4.
Leading the league at 53% on 3rd downs.
Here's Adams back to pass, lets one rip, right-hand side, has a receiver, looks like it's Fast Ed, out past the 20 to the 22, and Ed Smith, the leading receiver in the regular season in Champions Indoor Football, comes up big with a 1st down catch, keeping this drive going for the Liberty.
Yeah, and there's a reason right there. This offensive line just giving Tyree plenty of time to step up. Saw on the run play where Tyree scrambled, still had plenty of the time to step straight up into the pocket. So kudos to this offensive line so far.
Fast Ed, 514 yards in the regular season, led the league in receiving touchdowns with 14. He'll join his other receiving mates on the left-hand side. Tyree Adams dumps it off to Tracy Brooks out in the flat. There's a flag on the play. Tracy will get 3 yards out to the 25, but a flag in that vicinity.
There's an early flag as right about at the ball was snapped, and all the Salina players seem to think it's on Dodge City.
Ron O'Neill says, yep, we're going that way. Ed Smith, we talked about him against Dodge City this year, 5 receiving touchdowns. And Waheen Bird will come off the field. Jason Shelley, fresh off of his 4-touchdown performance against Wichita, comes in. So where's the drop-off with this receiving core?
Yeah, you drop the league leader, but bring a guy in who's one of the hottest receivers after the last game with 4 touchdowns and the defending offensive player of the week.
And best answer, maybe.
Yes.
Here's the give to Tracy Brooks, right up the gut on this 1st and 5. Kelvin McCoy trying to pave the way, knocked a couple of people down, but Jaden Dobbs at the bottom of that pile comes up after making the tackle.
Guys, I asked Jason Shelley prior to the last kickoff if he had the choreography in case he needs it, anything planned. He said he's going to entirely wing it. I asked why. He goes, I've run out of dances.
The Wichita game was rough on his portfolio. There is no doubt about that. 2nd down and 2 now. Maybe 3 for the Liberty from the 21-yard line. Tyree Adams, play action, throws a lollipop over the top. Jason Shelley goes up and he brings it down. Get the video cameras ready. Shelley's going to dance it off in the end zone once again, and some more. Michael Jackson. Boy, that ball seemed like it hung in the air forever. Tyree Adams had trouble getting it out of the belly of Tracy Brooks, and then he just kind of hung it up there for Shelley to go get, and that Jason did.
Yeah, and Jason was only able to get his arms up as a defender was wrapped around him. Looked like early and was spinning him around, and he was able to concentrate, corral the ball, score a touchdown, and moonwalk his way back to the bench.
So Tyree Adams, his 2nd touchdown of the night. Jimmy Allen back on for the extra point. Kelvin McCoy will send it back to Tracy Brooks. Tracy asks for the snap. It's a good one, almost perfect, and Jimmy Allen will punch it through. Kamali Matthews took about 3 Dodge City players into the end zone with him. It's got to be terrifying lining up against that guy.
Yeah, the league, as soon as he came back to Salina, the league was put on notice that now our offensive line, is he still, I don't know who he's, now he's just going to high-five his way back to the bench.
14-10, Liberty reclaim their lead as we are in the last few seconds of the first quarter. 19 seconds left to go here in the first. Omaha anxiously awaiting the winner of this game. Of course, if it's Dodge City, they will host at Ralston Arena next week. I think I saw it either Friday or Sunday or something like that. So Ralston Arena must have other dates going on, but if it is Salina that wins, Omaha will travel here for a game on Saturday at 6:35. So we will know when we leave the arena tonight what the Champions Bowl 6 matchup will be.
And if it does happen to be Salina and Omaha, I'm sure Salina chomping at the bit after their one loss this year coming a few weeks ago up in Ralston.
Yep, Omaha ruined their undefeated season. So I think if there's any reason or rhyme or extra motivation, if that's even a thing in a championship game, you would want to get some revenge on that and beat them when it counts. But, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting when you think about that. Just kind of talking to this coaching staff, I don't really think they care who they play. They take it with whoever's in front of them and just keep moving on. Jimmy Allen has this one teed up. He's going to shade it all the way to his left-hand side. Arm in the air. He's going to approach in a little squib kick. And this is going to go all the way into the end zone again. Boy, Dodge City having trouble here. Gerald Thomas has to bring it all the way back to the wall. Now he's trying to get away, and he does. Finds a crease at the 5, 10, 15, 20. 25 runs into Jimmy Allen, and Allen takes him out up against the wall at the 21-yard line. Jimmy's been pretty good as a safety this year on some of these blown coverages. That was one of the ones, like, you always hear the punt being too long and you outkicked your coverage.
Right.
I think that might have happened there on that kick. That ball wobbled around in the end zone for so long that the coverage got out of sorts for the Liberty. And a great, great return by Gerald Thomas, but he was taken down by Jimmy Allen at the 21-yard line.
And it's something Ron O'Neill's talked about all year long.
Yeah.
If you've listened to our broadcasts, our special teams, all our special teams, as we're winding down here at the end of the first quarter.
End of one, 14-10. Salina leading Dodge City, but the Law in really good field position. They will start out at the Liberty 21 when we come back. 14-10. Liberty leading it by 4 here on KINA. Welcome back to Tony's Pizza Event Center. Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berner. 14-10, so far a really good game between these two teams. Russ, and I mean, it's playoffs. I think we kind of expected this, but we also kind of maybe thought Dodge City was the odd man out coming into this game. They lost 4 in a row, was able to beat Wyoming in the last game of the regular season, while Salina beat Wichita to help them get in. But Dodge City's come out here, and they've shown that they're game for this.
Yeah, and they're ready to play. Talked to Coach Davis down there. I talked to him a little bit, and we ain't backing down from anything. We came here to play. We're in the playoffs. We earned our spot in the playoffs, bar it being the 4 seed, the 1 seed, whatever. They're in the playoffs. They have a mission too, just like Salina does. So they want to, I mean, they're out here to win. They know if they win, they got to go to Omaha. Salina knows if they win, they get a game here against Omaha. Yeah, the scoreboard may be a little shocking, but right now I think Dodge City, with the way their offense is playing, might be playing a little better than Salina.
And we've seen the two contrasts, too, that Dodge City wants to hang on to the football. They want to play possession type of football, stink it up, if you will. Yeah. That's the quote. And just, get some points at the end of each drive, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. They want to keep the Salina offense off the field. Dodge City only gave up 60-plus points twice this year. Both of them were to Salina.
Yeah, when you give up 120 points in 2 ball games to one squad, and now you got to play them again in the playoffs.
Here's the give to Cameron Booty. Nope, it's a read option again. Ramsey's going to pull it out of the belly. and plunge ahead to about the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 2, and we'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, really, he could have left it for Booty there because it looked like he had 4 or 5 yards before he was contacted. Naquan Thomas kind of reading out and getting the shoestring tackle on Ramsey.
Excuse me, that was Jalen Lowe in there
Oh,
again.
okay.
Rusty Becker right now, the defensive tackle, right over the center, the nose guard for the Liberty. Travis Taylor on the right, Latimer on the left. Everybody else still the same for the Liberty on defense. 2nd down and 8. Here's Lowe. Turns, another fake to Booty. Lowe's going to bring it now all the way down the left-hand sideline. Gets inside the 5 before Dontre Matthews finally gets him down at about the 2.5. Boy, some tricky running plays here, Brian, from Jalen Lowe. He's doing a really good job at that quarterback spot for Dodge City.
Yeah, I think it appears that they're thinking or hoping that Salina just concentrates so much on trying to stop Booty that then the quarterback will have that open space down along the side. That time Detroit was able to come up and just keep him out of the end zone. Dodge City thought he was in, but the back did hit the wall at about the 2-yard line.
This time Cameron Booty will start out in motion. He will attack the line of scrimmage on the run. Gets the handoff, following his line in there, trying to get to the goal line. Push, push, push. And they're going to say just short. Did not make it in. Boy, that push just kept on going, Russ. I thought maybe the law would get the surge, but both officials, one from each side, running in, saying that they were short, and they will put the football at the 1-yard line. I think that's probably a horrible spot for Dodge City.
Yeah, that was a great spot for Salina, a horrible spot for Dodge, and we've talked about it. Reviews are really hard to do at the Tony's Pizza Event Center.
Better than Wichita, though, where we had none at all.
Yeah.
13 minutes left to go here, 2nd quarter. This time Lowe under center. He's going to try the quarterback sneak. He ran into a brick wall, though. I don't think he's going to get in unless he's stuck between 2 linemen. There is a flag on the play, and no indication of a touchdown yet, as we will have to check the flag. Brian.
Almost looks like there could have been some movement along the line of Dodge City. Coach Davis is wanting illegal defense, illegal shift, so it does go against Dodge City.
Illegal shift on the law. That makes Richard Davis put his left and his right hand on top of his head in disbelief.
Yeah, and I don't know because the line judge came in from the side. Both of them did, waving to stop the clock in the end zone like he did get in the end zone, but we can't call it a touchdown. So, you know, a break there for Salina. See if that defense can finally stop this run game from Dodge City.
That's going to cost DC 5 yards. They're pushed now all the way back to the 6, where it's 2nd down and goal. Everyone in the skill spots dispatched to the left-hand side. Again, extra lineman. And there's a glorified fullback. Cameron Booty fakes the handoff. Lowe will keep it. He goes Superman over the top. Touchdown, Dodge City. The law on the board once again. They have taken a 2-point lead. What a play.
Yeah, and Salina's defense is struggling right now with that read option between Lowe and Booty, and just you can give it to either one. They're both getting positive yards, 4 or 5 positive plus yards every possession, every carry.
Brett Mathis on for the extra point. He'll try to extend this law lead to 3. Clock continues to roll here. 11:59 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Everyone getting set. Of course, the umpire helping out with that. Jake Latimer with the block. He gets the bounce. It goes up over his shoulder, and now it's going to be taken at the 25. Boy, the big diesel from Iowa State almost had a free pass to the other end zone, and that ball just got out of his gloves, went up over his shoulder, and he was unable to return it, but he does keep a point off the board for the Dodge City Law, Brian. He came storming through after destroying that block.
And I tell you what, you can see the coach in him coming out right now. See it into your hands, Jake. Tough break, but you know what? If there's anybody that can shake off something like that, it's got to be Jake Latimer.
He was not happy, as we were told, about sitting out the Wichita game. Of course, Coach Ron O'Neill told him, he said, in my 2 years here, Jake Latimer has always been dinged up when it comes to playoff time. I did not want that to happen. I wanted to give him extended rest. He did not play Latimer in Wichita, and we saw Jake at the arena earlier today. He was ready to go.
Yeah, and that was an excellent, go back to that block by Latimer, a spin move to get off the block, to have enough time to block it and come down. And, you know, Brian talked about seeing his hands. As here at the Tony's Pizza Event Center. Brian down on the Salina sideline. I don't know if fed him popcorn before that play, but just couldn't get a grasp on the ball there.
Trust me, he's tried to rough me up so much tonight. I know that those gloves got enough stick on them. So.
He got it accomplished earlier. So Jake Latimer will keep a point off the board for Salina. 11:37 left to go. Dodge City leading by 2, 16-14.
You know, this could be one of those contests to where just who can make those crucial 1 or 2 stops throughout the game to kind of get that scoring shift kind of tilted in their favor.
Salina wearing their clean white throwback jerseys to the, oh gosh, let me go back here, 2016-2017 season.
That's the first time we've seen him in a while.
Yeah.
You go back to this, you know, 1-possession game so far all the way down. The scoreboard may have not have shown it closer in the last game when these two teams played, but it was a 1-possession game the last time these two teams met.
Here's Brett Mathis on the kick. It's going to go between everybody on the front couple lines. Dominic Carson will have his first chance. Bobbled a bit now at the 5, 10, 15. Make it the 20, 24-yard line. Dominic may have dropped the football, and the officials say he was down as he approached midfield right at the 24-yard line. So the former Dodge City Law running back, possibly the leading scorer in all of Champions indoor football history at the running back spot, well over 100 touchdowns, and still native of Dodge City, living there, a resident I should say, not a native, gets his first chance here against one of his former squads.
Yeah, that interesting fact, if you didn't listen to the game that we did at Salina at Dodge City, as Dominic Carson was the halftime guest, avid farmer.
Well, he said he lives on a farm.
Okay,
He's not
he did say that, but I could see it in his eyes. He does enjoy getting out there.
It was embellished a little bit. Tyree Adams, 2 for 2 on his drives. This will be number 3 for the Liberty. He pulls it out of the belly of Dominic Carson. Wants to go deep to the end zone. Ed Smith has it go off his hands and out of bounds. Boy, Ed was wide open, just ran out of space there in that back corner as he was looking to haul that one in. And Brian, you can't help but to think the wall may have had something to do with that.
The wall came up pretty quick. I think the ball and the wall were both coming at a fast pace. Ed had the hands up there, but you know, had he had another probably yard or 2, would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, or maybe even if Tyree gets rid of that ball a fraction of a second earlier, he could have had him before that got to that point back in the corner there. Now Dodge City will have an equipment timeout here as one of their defensive backs will adjust a helmet.
Jason Shelley checks back into the game at wide receiver.
He'll be lined up on the right-hand side with Waheem Bird. Shelley will be in motion. Carson this time will dispatch to the left as a wideout. Here's Adams. Quick out. Waheem Bird at the 21. He hooks it back to the inside, into the 15, to the 10, and then backpedals his way down to the 8. First down for the Liberty. They will be inside of the 10-yard line with a first down and goal to go.
Guys, that's one thing about Waheem Bird. He gets the ball in a reception. If he gets spun around, he does just as well running backwards with those defenders on him than anybody I've seen in this league.
Waheem this season, 46.5 yards per game, 3rd in the league, also 10 touchdowns receiving, 4th in the league. Carson stays in there at running back. Pitch out, Dominique left-hand side. Looking for space, there is none. He is brought down at about the 9. That'll lose a half a yard. Good penetration that time by the Dodge City defensive line, led by Jamar Seard. Former Scotty from Highland Community College. Second goal now from the 9 for the Liberty as we approach the 9-minute mark of the second quarter. 16-14 Dodge City. Shelley and Ed Smith come to the right-hand side. Waheem Bird, a solo to the left. Carson sends the pitch here. He gets it to the 10. Little stutter step move, and he will get inside of the 5 to the 3 and then landed on by the defensive end, Demaria Mixon. So Carson will stay in there as he got to the 3-yard line. Now 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, and Carson being a small guy, Mixon came flying in at 6'5", 275 and just kind of squashed Carson as he was on his way to the ground right there.
Dominic 5'5", 150 as he's listed.
with his pads on.
And he's such a rhythm guy, the way
Yeah.
that he runs. He needs several carries in a row to really get going, and he hasn't had that lately. Of course, he's set for a few weeks with a precautionary time off with a knee. Back out there tonight. Here's Tyree Adams. Stiff arms it to Waheem Bird. That should be a touchdown, and it is. Finally, the near side official comes through, and he says, yes, sir, Waheem Bird in the end zone. That for Waheem, his second touchdown of the night, and number 12 on the season.
Yeah, give it to Waheem for holding on to that ball right there. As he took an absolute shot at the goal line from Antoine Smith.
Yeah, it was a big hit, and Bird kept it in the crock pot, so to speak. 20-16 now, Salina regains the lead. Boy, this teeter-totter battle continues on. Jimmy Allen on for the extra point. See if he can make this swing in Salina's favor after Dodge City got their last one blocked, and he does. 3 of 3 on extra points for Jimmy Allen. 7:33 left to go. Second quarter. Liberty back out in front by 5 as we take this break here on KINA. Back here at the T-Peck in Salina, Tony's Pizza Event Center is the place. 21-16, Salina over the Dodge City Law. This back and forth battle continues on. Dodge City now trailing by 5 as the possessions start to equal out a little bit. 7:33 left to go in the second quarter. Waheem Bird has just scored his second touchdown. He now on the season has 12. The other touchdown belongs to Jason Shelley. All 3 of those touchdown passes have come from Houdini Tyree Adams.
Yeah, and it's good to see Tyree Adams back and in a rhythm. You know, we saw him back in Wichita, but only for the first quarter and that first series in the second quarter. Ron O'Neill said we want to keep him healthy. He's our guy. Granted, Magic Mitch came in and did some magical things for this Salina team while Tyree was out. But I think if you ask Ron O'Neill, Tyree is going to drive this team.
You talk about drop-off, Brian, when you go from number 1 to number 2 at any position. But there was no drop-off really between Tyree Adams and Mitch Kidd. Those two end up combining, basically split the season between the two. And Tyree Adams and Mitch Kidd combined led the league in touchdown passes at 41.
Yeah, there was really no drop-off. You know, it was expected. Coach O'Neill knew it was going to be a tough decision. Honestly, in watching them, it appeared to be much closer than I would have expected. You know, they bring a lot of the same things, but yet different. You know, Mitch actually impressed me with his ability to run more than I expected. But when Tyree just lets that ball loose, I mean, that thing just gets there in a hurry.
Yeah, it does. Hear the term spin rate in baseball. His spin rate is way up there. Here's a kick now that'll drive. Gerald Thomas back 5 yards deep in the end zone. He doesn't have to chase it around this time, though. And Naquan Thomas is going to take him down by the ankles at the 8. Gerald Thomas on some of these kick returns, Russ, he's been way up about the 10 or 12-yard line, and he's had to go back as Jimmy Allen's kicked it over his head. That time he fielded it in the end zone, and Jimmy kicked it right to him.
Yeah, we saw it on the opening kickoff. There was really nobody deep. He was the deep man. He was at about the 15-yard line and kind of realized, oh, I didn't know I was that far up. I need to go back, as Jimmy Allen has rolled it past him the first 2 times, and like you said, out-kicked the coverage per se, like on a punt team. That time Jimmy Allen hanging it high in the air, so allow his team to get down there to break down and make the tackle.
41 yards in front of Dodge City here. 7:11 left to go here in the second quarter. They trail Salina by 5. There's a sweep and a fumble. Salina bouncing on it. Nobody's saying down yet. They're going to say yes, he was down. before the ball came loose, and Huron O'Neill is asking why.
I don't believe anyone touched him when he went to the ground. Now, when a guy came on top of him, the ball did come out then, so we'll see what coach decides to do here.
Ryan?
He was down. The ball actually came loose after he was touched. He was touched kind of at the torso, and then it looked like the hand went up, knocked the ball loose. So I would say the ruling will stand. He was down actually by contact.
We have not seen a call overturned yet in Tony's Pizza Event Center this season. Keep that in mind. As we step away, 6:43 left to go. 21-16, Salina may have gotten a free possession, or will Dodge City keep it? We will find out when we come back here on KINA. Still under review at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel, Brian Berner on the field, as we are trying to see if the Dodge City Law fumbled the football or if they did not fumble the football because it was already down by contact. Brian, what's the chatter down there along the bench area?
I think they'll say that it stands. Is kind of the what we're getting from the Salina team down here. You know, it's an unfortunate break because you think Jake Latimer was the one that was kind of right on top of that, had a chance to, you know, get it and advance the ball. And so, in a way, Jake's kind of 0 for 2 right now.
Yeah, but making plays, no doubt about that.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, Latimer in there. And also think maybe the vibe of who's on the field right now, Russ, can tell you a lot, is the Salina defense is still out there.
Yeah.
The Dodge City offense is still out there, and here comes the officials.
Stands. Not confirmed, but stands.
So still, though, not to be overlooked, a great play by the front three. That Salina Liberty defensive line right now. It's Latimer, as we spoke of, Travis Taylor, Ishawn Funny, as they took the Dodge City ball carrier Cameron Booty down for a loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11 now, back at the 8-yard line. Still an extra lineman hanging out there in the offensive backfield for Dodge City. They're going to fake it to Booty. Lowe wants to go long. Now he's going to tuck it and run. He has to try to get around Thomas and Stewart. He got around Thomas, but Stewart met him face mask to face mask and held him for a 5-yard gain. Boy, it seemed like Jalen Lowe ran a lot to get 5 yards and to pay for it from Brayshawn Stewart.
Yeah, as soon as Brayshawn made contact with him, drove him back about 6 yards. But nonetheless, that Salina team The coverage is good down the field, that's telling me. As we're watching the play happen up front, linebacker play may be getting spread out and allowing that middle of the field, which has been a thorn in Salina's side on defense, is that middle of the field is always wide open.
They're going to say it's a gain of 8 all the way out to the 16-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. And now a timeout. Dodge City.
Play clock made it down to 2 seconds.
Okay, 30-second timeout here. Big play. Russ, we have not seen a stop yet on either side, as Dodge City has scored on all 3 of their possessions. Salina has scored on all 3 of their possessions, 21-16. The only difference is Dodge City scheduled for a field goal on their first drive, while the Liberty have put up 7 all 3 times they have touched the football.
Yeah, and this game's kind of got the vibe to it that it's going to be a back and forth game, as we haven't seen a stop on the defensive end.
Right.
Salina run heavy with Tracy Brooks on that first drive, ending up with a screen play to Waheem Bird for a touchdown. And then going deep on a few plays, Jason Shelley on one, Waheem Bird back on the other one. Dodge City just really has no interest in throwing the ball. They dropped back to pass that time, but coverage was good. Coverage has been good by the Salina secondary, but Lowe's been able to make plays with his feet.
As you said, really no desire or maybe ability to throw the football for Dodge City here in this game. 3rd down and 3. They'll snap it from their own 16-yard line. Empty backfield. Now Booty will get into the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Runs around Jake Latimer. He'll have the first down. And then taken down by Isaiah Barfield and Dontre Matthews at the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on a 3rd and 3. Move the chains for Dodge City.
Yeah, and his B-Eaters see once again what Dodge City is averaging per rush. It has to be in the 3.5 to 5 yard average as they just keep moving the sticks down the field.
You would think time of possession also in the favor of the law.
It's never been in favor of Salina all year. So.
Yeah, you're right. First in scoring, last in time of possession. 1st down and 10. Here's Booty again on the run. Gets 9, maybe 9.5, as he cracked it all the way down to the 20-yard line. Basically went from 20 to 20 that time, and it will be 2nd down and inches for the Dodge City Law.
Yeah, and Cameron Booty kind of showing you why he was the league-leading rusher. He came on strong at the end of the year, towards the middle to the end of the year, and hasn't let off the gas in this game at all.
So far, Dodge City in this game, they've only passed it 1 time. 2nd down and inches. They run again. Booty. Ball comes loose, and Dontre Matthews has it. Dontre's going to be tackled right away at the 15-yard line, but that ball popped free from Cameron Booty, and Detrays plucks it out of the air. The first takeaway of the game belongs to the Salina Liberty.
You and I talked about that, Devin, during that review. Does somebody get a stop and kind of change the momentum of this game? And a big fumble by Cameron Booty right there may have set off what could be a downhill effect for Salina.
4:30 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Mark that down, as this game could have just brought up a big momentum swing. Dodge City trailing by 5, driving down the field, and that was a 2nd and inches play. And the ball comes free. I did not see who got the hit for the Salina Liberty that ball popped out with, but it landed in the breadbasket of Dontre Matthews.
And it flew about 5 yards in the air for Dontre.
Donald Moore just happened to be in the right place at the right time, the offensive lineman that time, for Dodge City to make the tackle on Detray. Here's Tracy Brooks on the 1st down carry. He'll bring it out across the 20-yard line, gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 coming up as TB2 takes it to the 21.
Yeah, and a tough 5 yards as Ivan King kind of come in there and laid a shot on TB2 as he was going down to the ground there.
Tracy's 4th carry of the night, 19 yards so far for him. 2nd down. See if Salina can add on to their 5-point lead. All 3 wide receivers right-hand side. Now Bird will go to the left. Here's a pitch out that way. Tracy Brooks will follow Bird. 1st down, Salina. Brooks gets 6 on the play, takes it across midfield to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, once again, Kamali Matthews driving the defender another 15 yards past the play down into the turf.
The defensive back for Dodge City, Marcus Odom, taking offense to that. Poor Marcus, though, he's only 5'9", 180. I don't think he's going to have much to say to Kamali Matthews about that.
Yeah, probably not going to end well for him if he decided to get into it with Kamali.
Those are the football at the 23 in Dodge City territory. Under 3 minutes left to go here, first half. First down and 10 for the Liberty. Tyree Adams fakes it to Brooks, now dumps it off to Steinwalks. It's Chad's first catch. He stiff arms a Dodge City defender and then hurdles a man inside of the 10 and still keeps running. Chad Steinwalks just pulled off an amazing play, and Brian, the rest of that is against the wall. I'll let you take it.
Well, it's kind of mixed. It looks as if when the ball got loose, it went and hit the wall at about the 5-yard line. If that's the case, then the ball would be considered out of bounds. Salina would retain possession.
So Chad stiff-armed the first defender and then tried to hurdle another one, lost the football. Now the conference is on. We may have another review with no result.
I know it's hard for us to see, but it sure did look like when he hurdled the defender, he got into the wall. You called it. Officials review. So, here we are again.
Yep, you hear the reaction of this crowd. Isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? That's kind of where we're at right now in this review rut here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. 21-16 is our score. We're in review again. 2:38 left to go before halftime on KINA. The review is over. It has been confirmed that it was against the wall on Chad Steinwalk's fumble of the football, so the Liberty will keep it now first down and goal from the 7-yard line. Clock has been restarted. Now 2.5 minutes left to go here before halftime, or 1.5 until the 60-second warning. Lots of movement up front on both sides. Finally, a flag flies. Liberty's going to throw this into the end zone, and it's going to be picked off. Coming back the other way, Antoine Smith has the interception, and he's going to be tackled at the 5, but now we have to sort out the laundry. There were movements on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you wonder if this isn't on Dodge City, as neither team really has come off the field. They're just kind of going back where they were. So, once again, in this indoor game, if the defender comes out of his stance, it is a penalty on the defense, regardless if he jumps off sides or not.
And it is offsides on the defense. That play by Antoine Smith, though, we need to mention him. He played for Richard Davis in Bismarck, also an IFL guy who has stuck around in Bismarck. He just joined this Dodge City roster at the end of the season, right before the roster lock.
Yeah.
Had an interception or two in that last game against Wyoming. Looked to have one there, but the flag was against his defensive unit, so Salina will continue on. They get the beneficiary of half the distance to the goal on that penalty, and now they are at the 3-yard line. Under 2 minutes left to go. Snap back to Adams. Play action again. Tyree looking to throw. Throws it in the back of the end zone, and again one of his receivers about gets their heads taken off. As back in the end zone was Ed Smith. Ed's still down right in front of you, Brian Berner. And boy, I don't know if it's timing-wise or this Dodge City secondary just being super aggressive, but these Liberty receivers are paying the price.
There wasn't much space to really work there in the back of that end zone. Dodge City had it covered very well. Tyree, though, he's not afraid to take those chances and try to thread the needle.
This Liberty team has only had 6 turnovers all year long in all aspects of the game. So it's not a team that turns it over, but Tyree Adams has made a couple of suspect throws tonight. Still yet to turn the ball over, though. 1:14 left to go. Here's the give. Tracy Brooks, spin move at point of attack. Tracy's going to carry the defense into the end zone and a Liberty touchdown. Tracy Brooks from 4 yards away has just put the first considerable distance between these two teams. Now an 11-point Liberty lead as we hit the 60-second warning.
Yeah, just
Weight room.
kind of an automatic right there. You give the ball to Tracy Brooks with 2-3 yards to go. I'm going to place my money on him every time. Had bad luck this year when we go to places on placing my money on things, but I don't think you'll ever have bad luck putting your money on TB2.
Tracy's going to celebrate and hand the ball off to someone. Now come back and hold for Jimmy Allen. Trying to make this a 12-point game. Calvin McCoy will snap it back here. Tracy Brooks waiting on the snap. It's good. Jimmy Allen's kick is up, and it is good. 4 of 4 on point after touchdowns for Jimmy Allen. And the Salina Liberty lead now 28-16 with 1 minute left to go. 60-second warning, we'll take it. Back with more Liberty football. The Law will have the reception when we come back. Welcome back to Tony's Pizza Event Center. It's our first double-digit lead of the day, and it belongs to the Salina Liberty 28-16. They take a fumble by the Dodge City Law. It was recovered by Dontre Matthews, and the Salina Liberty offense now 4 of 4 on offensive drives. They've gotten the touchdowns and the extra points. 28 points on the board, and they lead the Law 28-16. And now, guys, Russ, this is something we were talking about during break, and we try to touch on it every single game, is the quick turnaround here for the Law, because the Liberty scheduled to get the football to start second half.
Yeah, and with Dodge City being such a run-heavy 99% of the time with one throw, you kind of wonder what kind of adjustments Coach Davis is going to make here with 1 minute to go.
Jimmy Allen has his hand in the air, football in the middle of the field. He'll put his foot into it. It's a high end-over-end kick. That will go back to Gerald Thomas in the back of his own end zone. Thomas brings it out now to the 5. Looking for the 5. He won't get there. Jake Latimer, the big diesel, the Cyclone from Iowa State, turns and points to the Dodge City bench. And Jake's having a big night.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was trying to get Jimmy Allen's attention, but there he was pointing at Dodge City's bench, just giving him the hammer. And Jake, you know, you touched on this, Devin. He was upset that he was left out of the last game. But Coach said we need him healthy because you've never been healthy. And this is exactly why you sit him out that game that doesn't mean anything to come into this one.
He's so good on special teams.
Yes.
So good.
Always upset when he's got to come out of anything, whether it be one play or sit out a whole game.
54 seconds left to go. 28-16. Dodge City starting out at their own 5-yard line. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. Back to pass. Now running. Here's Lowe. They'll spin it off at the 10 and then get blasted from behind. Latimer and Taylor are both there. And Jalen Lowe will get out to about, where are they going to spot this thing at? Looks like they're going to put it at the 13.
Yeah.
That's a great spot for Lowe. The clock continuing to roll here, 37 seconds left.
Once again, no intentions of throwing the ball.
Lowe back to pass again. Now he's going to throw it out. Cameron Booty catches it on the screen at the 12. That'll be maybe a loss of a half a yard there.
Yep.
It does stop the clock as Cameron Booty was close enough to the wall to get a stoppage of time with 27 seconds left to play.
And a great read by Isaiah Barfield on the near side here to corral him, to not allow him to get that spin move to get up the field.
28-16 our score. Salina leading. Ron O'Neill in talking to his defensive line. Changes a call.
Salina still with all 3 timeouts.
Dodge City spreads it out. Lowe back to pass. Here comes Latimer. He's got Lowe back near the end zone, through the goal line. And Jake Latimer sacks Jalen Lowe. Ron O'Neill is calling for a timeout. And Latimer up on top of the wall next to his bench. And Jake has come to play.
Yeah, Brian, right in front of you is Jake Latimer, just comes and puts him right in the lap.
Yeah,
How quick did that happen, Brian?
It was very, very fast, and it's one of those that's going to be so close. Momentum did carry back into the end zone, but now they're spotting the ball at the 5-yard line, which I'm not really sure on that.
It may be for the kicking unit.
Fourth down, kick. Yes, that would be
finally Brett Mathis in the kicking unit is going to come on, so they will change the line of scrimmage now to the 5. Also back deep is Isaiah Barfield. Speaking of Isaiah, he will be our halftime guest as we take a break here at the intermission on our Precision Electric player profile. Isaiah Barfield and Jake Latimer have been on this roster since the very first day indoor football came to Salina in 2013. Jake entered the fray about 3 or 4 games into that 2013 season with the old Salina Bombers. Isaiah Barfield was here in tryouts from day one. And we will talk to Isaiah about that and about the evolution of indoor football in Salina coming up at halftime. And actually now we have 2 people deep, Barfield and Carson.
Maybe one knowing Mathis has the leg to get it through here, as he has made the 1 points on the kickoff. So maybe one to have a lead blocker back here for one or the other.
About 3 yards deep in the end zone is where this kick is going to come from. It's a 61-yard attempt. And the kick is going to come up short. Carson will have Barfield in front of him at the 5. Here comes DC. He'll angle away from the block to the 10, 15, 20, 25, back to the other 20, now to the 15, now to the 12, and he's brought down there with 8 seconds left to go and 2 timeouts remaining. Jake Latimer destroyed a Dodge City Law defender on special teams.
Yeah, now Brett Mathis is trying to get in Jake Latimer's face over there. I'm not quite exactly sure why, or why you would even try that.
Boy, Latimer is wound up.
Yeah, 8 seconds here for Salina, still with 2 timeouts. Probably still take at least 1 shot in the end zone as long as Tyree doesn't run for his life back there.
Yeah, why not? And again, things have gone really bad for Dodge City since that interception, because now they've got Salina in scoring position once again with 8 seconds left, and Salina's set to get the kickoff to start second half.
We'll see if Jason Shelley and Chad Steinwalks for height are in here on Salina as we come back, as it looks like it's going to be Waheem Burden. It's good to see Fast Ed Smith back in the game after that shot he took in the end zone.
And it is Steinwalks in the slot. Tyree Adams asking for the snap. Fakes it to Brooks. He's under pressure. He has to get away from it. Throws it out to Tracy Brooks. And Brooks, getting blasted very, very alertly, puts the ball up over the wall and gets the stoppage of time. And Ron O'Neill will call a timeout just to make sure. He had one to burn. 1 second left on the clock, and that will give Jimmy Allen a chance here to put up an extra 3 for the Salina Liberty. Boy, good pressure that time by the Dodge City Law, but on the defensive line, they just didn't give Tyree Adams a chance to even get set.
Yeah, they kind of sold out right there to collapse the middle as Tyree was stepping up in the pocket. And really the first time he's dropped back to pass, he hasn't had a clean pocket to throw in. And kind of a dangerous lob pass out there to Tracy Brooks, as he did have a defender right on his back.
Brian starts his stalking of Coach Ron O'Neill as he will try to run him down for the halftime interview. He may have him in the sights. Brian intently looking across the bench at Coach O, not letting him get away. Tracy Brooks will put this field goal attempt for Jimmy Allen down at the 19-yard line. It'll be a 27-yard attempt, the snap coming from southpaw Calvin McCoy. Brooks makes sure Allen is set. Here's the snap. Tracy gets it down. Jimmy's kick is up, and it is good. 4 of 4 on extra points and add a three-pointer in there. Jimmy Allen punches it through, and now the Salina Liberty lead 31-16. Coach O'Neill has about a 10-yard start.
I think he's just out there to shake Jimmy Allen's hand, be the first one here. And
Coach got the strides on Brian, so. Boy, but what a turn there by the Liberty, taking a 15-point lead into the locker room at halftime. Let's go down on the field. Here's Brian.
All right, I win. I caught up with him. I'm out of breath. Coach, it's very simple. Thoughts on the first half. You got that momentum change from the turnover. It was kind of back and forth, but you got that lead now going into half. Thoughts on the first half?
Well, pretty good. Second quarter defensively, we basically got, 1.5 stops right there. A big stop right there at the end. A great return by Carson to set us up in great field goal position. Offensively, playing smart, taking what they're giving us. Happy with how our offensive line is doing what they need to do. But that was a big play. But I think it was Quan that made the hit on the guy, and for D-Tray to recover it, I mean, that was huge. That was the momentum shift right there because it was back and forth going both ways. So to get that big play right there and then to come down and score with it, that was the change of the game.
Jake Latimer seems to be coming alive.
Oh, yeah, this is the biggest crowd that I've been since I've been here. So we just got to come home and finish it strong.
Good luck on the second half. Devin?
Very nice job, Brian Berner on the field with head coach Haran O'Neill, the IFL Hall of Famer, as his team goes into the locker room at halftime up 31-16. The Salina Liberty, after trailing 16-14 at the 11:37 mark of the second quarter, went on a 17-0 run to end the first half. They will take a 15-point lead into the locker room at halftime. When we come back after the break, our Precision Electric player profile, one of the OGs of indoor football in Salina, it's Isaiah Barfield. He'll join Brian Berner when we come back. 31-16, Salina over Dodge City at halftime right here on KINA. Back here at halftime, Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berners on the field as we are working our way through a semifinal championship round playoff game. The Salina Liberty leading the Dodge City Law here at the break, 31-16. Boy, Russ, it all kind of started there after that fumble for Dodge City, recovered by Dontre Matthews. At that point, Dodge City was trailing just a little bit, 21-16, but then it just kind of popped the cap off. Salina went and scored a touchdown. Then they were able to get the ball back again, stopping Dodge City deep in their own territory. A big return by Dominic Carson put him in scoring position again. One play over to the sideline, really netted just maybe 1 or 2 yards, and then Jimmy Allen in for the 28-yard field goal. The Liberty ended that half on a 17-0 run after trailing 14-6 with 11:37 left to go. And here we are about ready to start the third quarter, and Salina scheduled to get the football once again.
Yeah, and you talked about it, that fumble really kind of changed the atmosphere of this game. You saw it take the sail out of Dodge City a little bit, and then you go back to that Carson return. But Coach O'Neill going into halftime, you know he's got to go back to the drawing board, because yes, Salina's up 31-16 as we're about to start the third quarter, but the run defense has been a struggle early in this first half.
Brian Berner, when you look at the defense for Dodge City, we know that they're very, very good, but they have yielded over 56 points just twice this year, and that was 62 points to the Salina Liberty on May 9th, 61 points to the Salina Liberty on May 29th, and here we are halfway through, and Salina has 31 on the board, halfway to 62.
Yeah, I was really trying to concentrate a little bit on that defensive line. And I talked to Nick Bittinger, and I go, okay, what's the difference? And one of the things that he kind of pointed out was, they've got one guy in there taking up the middle, but they've really come this game with more speed rush on each of the outsides. And one of the things that he pointed out was when you look at, pull him out here, is Damari Mixon. He indicated that from all indications that this is his first game indoors. And so a little bit of an adjustment there. And Nick goes, he thinks he's got some ways that he can look to try to gain that advantage for the offensive line for the Salina Liberty. Down here on the bench right now, the guys are coming out. They're excited that they've got the lead, kind of laid back, but you can also see in their eyes that there's a lot of unfinished business, and especially when you look at head coach Ron O'Neill.
31-16 our score here at the break. 15-point lead for the Salina Liberty. Brett Mathis will have his kicking team on the field here momentarily to kick it off to the Salina Liberty to start second half. Rush, you get this feeling that this may be the biggest exchange of the game here for these two teams and for the composure of this game. Obviously, if Salina goes and scores, they're up 38-16 if they get a touchdown and an extra point. That may be too much for this Dodge City team to overcome, because as we've talked about, they're not an offense that scores a lot of points or gains ground quickly.
Yeah, because if they have to change their whole game plan to go into the air, it is something really they haven't done all year. And you go back to that, if they have to go through the air, they're going to have to contend with those front three. As we talked about, Jake Latimer had probably the best first half I have seen Jake Latimer have.
Jalen Lowe, 2 of 2 passing the football in the first half. That is all that he has for passing. 2 of 2. Mathis on the kick. That'll start us off here for the third quarter, and he's going to maybe try to go for the one-pointer. It looked like that kick very strong, but it sailed off to the left and unreturnable. So the Liberty not only will get the football to start second half, but they will start at the 25-yard line.
Down as many points as Dodge City is, you take the risk of a 1 point or giving it to this high-powered Salina offense at midfield. Kind of a no risk, no reward in my book.
Well, you give Salina a very good field position. So far, they have not been stopped when they've had the football. They are 5 of 5 on scoring drives, including the field goal to end the first half. 31-16 is our score. Kelvin McCoy flanked by Bittinger on the left, Kamali Matthews on the right. Stein walks the lone receiver to the left-hand side. Here's a snap back to Tyree Adams. Fake pitch out to the right to Tracy Brooks. Now he's going to backpedal as he has a couple of Dodge City linemen right in his face. Misses Ed Smith on the crossing route. Tyree Adams was knocked down. Incomplete pass will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and Ed Smith kind of fell down simultaneously, backpedaling to try to get the ball as Tyree did. So kind of a busted play there. And you talked about it, a big possession here, not really for Salina, but for the whole outcome of what could come of this game.
2nd down and 10. Ball still sitting on the 25-yard line. Adams this time will have all 3 receivers to the right-hand side. Pitch out, Tracy Brooks. He wants to run that way. Tracy has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then brought down there, and look who is out in front. 10 yards downfield again. There's Kamali Matthews blocking and leading the way.
Yeah, and there's a reason Haran O'Neal runs to that right side so much. When you got, we beat it till it's dead, but Kamali Matthews just will drive guys 10 to 15 yards down the field. We've seen it over and over again these last few weeks he's been here.
Speaking of that right-hand side, that's a spot that used to be occupied by big Josh Hughes. Josh was unfortunately injured at Sioux City during the game there. He had a nice post on Facebook, on social media yesterday about his healing and his progress. Josh, if you were watching and or listening, still thinking about you. You are definitely still part of this team and a part of the Liberty family. So glad to hear that you are on your way back and the road recovery is doing well, my friend. Here's a run again. This is Tyree Adams this time. Little read option, Salina Liberty style. Adams will take it to the 10-yard line, and it will be 1st down and goal for the Liberty. Little Adams family playing there after that Tyree Adams quarterback keeper.
I don't know if Houdini has any music out there, but
it appears it's the Adams family now.
Yeah.
All 3 receivers left-hand side. Liberty want to run again. Here's Tracy Brooks. Brooks will take it to the 5 before he is brought down there against the wall. It's a gain of 5. 2nd down and goal now from the 5.
And Dodge City really hasn't, they haven't stopped Salina on a drive yet. You get a heavy dose of Tracy Brooks down here, and then just when you think they're going to do that in the first touchdown of the game, they throw a little bubble screen as Tyree goes under center to hit Waheem Bird just for a quick little screen for 3 yards. So, really the playbook is wide open for Salina at any end of the field.
Here comes Kelvin McCoy with his offensive line mates. Brooks still in the backfield, this time right hip. Everybody loaded up right-hand side. Fake pitch that way. Adams to the end zone. Steinwalks, touchdown. Chad camped out right in the middle of the field, right at the goal line. And Tyree Adams, after faking the handoff, just rose up all in one motion, threw that football into Chad's hands. And now Chad's Mafia going crazy here at Tony's Pizza Event Center.
Not only Chad's Mafia here, but his uncle, some of his cousins made the drive from Buffalo here tonight to watch him play.
Nice.
And that might have been maybe a young man
one of his nephews
who found him to run him down there.
Or cousin, I guess I should say.
37-16 now. Jimmy Allen on for the extra point. Tracy Brooks ready for Jimmy to give the to-go signal. He got it. Now he turns his attention to Kelvin McCoy. Snap is good. Placement down. Jimmy Allen's kick is up, and once again, right down the center. And Nick Bittinger showing some emotion. His old big 5'4" comes off the field, rips off his helmet, and telling the crowd to get into it. This Liberty team now have extended this run, guys, all the way to 24-0, dating back to 11:37 left to go in the 2nd quarter.
And you talk about Nick Bittinger showing the emotion. Really one of the first times we've seen Nick show that positive emotion as getting into this game. And something we kind of noticed when they come out at halftime, or when they came out even for player intros, it just was a different vibe with this team and some guys that we have seen that are just, I'm a head down, I go do my job, and then I go home. A little different tonight.
Brian, Coach Haran O'Neal, one of the secrets to his success is blending young talent, kind of unbridled horses, if you will, and all that athleticism and youth with veterans. There's a lot of guys that we can put on this list as in biggest improvements of the year, but Nick Bittinger has to be in the top 5 on that list, doesn't he?
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you. How he has developed, he's been that kind of unsung, and he's really that quiet leader. The guys will follow kind of the example that he puts out there. He never quits on a play. He may not have, the Kamali Matthews size, but what he does and how he uses everything he's got within him is just outstanding. He does a fabulous job.
Jimmy Allen out. He'll put the tee a shade to the left this time, his left. as he looks down the field. Once again, awaiting the kick will be Gerald Thomas for the DC Law. Jimmy checks on his running mates on the coverage team. They're all ready to go. Here's a high end-over-end kick, and it will take Thomas back about 5 yards deep. Gerald now out to the 5. Stutter steps at the 8, and that did not matter. Naquan Thomas there to arrest him, and look who went flying over the top. There's Jake Latimer, the old guy, still getting it done out there on special teams as he pats Naquan Thomas on the helmet. Now those two will settle in here on defense.
Guys, something interesting. Chad Steinwach just kind of prior to that kickoff was telling me, he goes, you know, that's my first touchdown here in this building. Everything else he's had this year has been out on the road, which kind of found hard to believe.
Interesting, but that is, yeah, true. Absolutely. Of course, his first game was against the Dodge City Law. Out in Dodge City, had 2 touchdowns. We always talk about, probably should have had 3. Tyree missed him wide open in the end zone one time. Here's Dodge City now deep in a hole. They're going to run to Cameron Booty, who will get to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, but not much more than that, as Naquan Thomas and Travis Taylor there to arrest him.
And Ron O'Neill, let's go back to that kickoff, Devin. Special teams has been big for Coach Ron O'Neill. Needed work, needed work. The kickoff coverage has been excellent tonight when the ball is up in the air. Really the first time we may have seen these consistent kickoffs by Jimmy Allen not be squib kicks, and the coverage doesn't have time to get down there.
That's a great point. 2nd down and 10 now after the no gain by Cameron Booty on first down. Snap back. Now a scramble. Under pressure. Hit as he throws. Dead duck up in the air. Kendrick Harper drops the football at the 10-yard line. K-Hop was coming on the run, had the receiver draped on him on the back, and Kendrick Harper could not complete the interception. And back near the wall, it looks like maybe Jalen Lowe might be a little shaken up. He took a big, big hit from Jake Latimer, I believe.
Yeah, and he hung in there for a long time, maybe a half second too long to throw the ball. Kendrick Harper.
K-Hop's going to want that one back.
Yeah, every time. He's going to catch that 9 out of 10 times, and that just happened to be maybe 99 out of 100, and that was the one that got dropped.
And the dangerous thing about that, if he completes that catch, we might be looking at the Liberty's first defensive touchdown because he was in return mode.
Yeah, he had a full head of steam and about 5 other defensive running mates ahead of him ready to go.
3rd down and 10. 9 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Dodge City desperately needs some yardage here. They're at their own 10-yard line. Here's the fake on the handoff. Lowe back to pass. Now under pressure again. Latimer trying to get free. Lowe's going to pass. Hit by Latimer up in the air, and it's going to be pass interference. Rayshawn Stewart had to do it. The ball was up in the air. The receiver saw it. The defensive back did not. Brian, right in front of you.
Yeah, you get away with so much throughout this season that to go this far in and finally have one thrown, like you said, Rayshawn really didn't have much of a choice.
Coach Ron O'Neill not happy about that one.
Luckily in the indoor game, the ball is just a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and not like in the professional game where it's a spot of the foul. But nonetheless, Brayshawn had to do it.
You know, Russ, though, you touched on it at halftime. Dodge City's tried to throw the ball now twice. They both could have been disastrous. They weren't, other than Jalen Lowe is taking a pounding right now.
Yeah, and he took another hard shot right there from Jake Latimer.
Latimer, Taylor, Ishawn Funny, the front 3 right now for the Liberty. Here's the handoff to Cameron Booty. Booty slides left. He's going to shake off Dontre Matthews and then carry the Liberty defense for 8 yards, and now Latimer takes him up over the wall. And Dodge City player comes in late, shoving. I don't know if he thought Latimer was trying to put Booty over the wall or not. It looked like Jake was helping him to not fall over there. Brian, you got a good look down the wall on your perspective.
Yeah, I think Jake, threw him hard into the wall. But when Jake saw that momentum kind of going in, kind of reached up to try to grab him back. And from a different angle, looked like maybe he was trying to do more than he would. But cooler heads have prevailed.
For now.
Yeah, and this is a game that really, for Salina, with this lead and the way this game is going, they really have to keep their composure with it looking like they're going to go ahead to Champions Bowl 6 next week.
2nd down and 2. Nice run there by Cameron Booty. He will come through, take it again, looking for the first down. He will be held short. Latimer and Taylor driving backwards. They stopped him right at the point of attack. No gain on the play, as those two, they've been getting it done for a really long time.
Yeah, once again calling Jake Latimer's name on about the last 4 or 5 plays on this defensive end. And we go back, he's continuing that unbelievable first half he had with the block kick and the fumble fingers and not seeing it in. He could have had points there, but, just nonetheless, 44 is having an excellent game.
You look at the defensive side of the ball, he is definitely the player of the game thus far, is Jake Latimer.
Some sort of equipment timeout.
But really the first time we're just seeing the nose guard position be rotated for this Salina defense between Ishawn Funny and Rusty Becker. I believe it has been Travis Taylor and Jake Latimer the whole time at the defensive end spots.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Of course, Shaq Bradford inactive. Just Coach O said it was a matchup deal against this Dodge City team. He wanted 2 linebackers in there. And the give will go to Cameron Booty. He will plunge ahead for a gain of 4, get to the 14-yard line, and a new set of downs for Dodge City.
And the clock's still running on all these run plays.
6:18 left to go. Looking at a fast-moving third quarter of action. Dodge City breaks the huddle. And they're going the whole way so far. Quarterback for the DC Laws, Jalen Lowe. Snap back to Lowe, wants to pass. From the backside, here comes Taylor. He dives, can't get there. Lowe's going to take off and run right into Dontre Matthews at the 10-yard line. I don't know if he went up against the wall there or not. Looks like they're going to spot him at the 8. Boy, Travis Taylor was just a centimeter away from a handful of shoelaces.
Yeah, and Lowe could feel him breathing down. He kind of took a peek back at the shoestrings, and then as soon as he looked up, he had a whole lot of number 4 Matthews right in his face to put him in the wall.
2nd and 4 from the 8. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the third. 38-16. Salina leading. Right now the Liberty currently on a 24-0 run. Empty backfield again, but Cameron Booty will come in, be the running back. He'll take the handoff, runs right into the back of one of his offensive linemen, and then Jake Latimer completes the arrest. And now we got a flag on the play. Ishawn Funny got tangled up with one of the offensive linemen for Dodge City and popped his helmet off, Brian.
Yeah, you're going to have a penalty against Ishawn Funny, taking the hand to the face. So that'll be a personal foul.
So Ishawn Funny has been deployed to the bench.
Yeah, big penalty as far as pushes the ball up just inside the 5, but a 1st and goal.
So the nose of the football will be setting at the 4. Rusty Becker will come in for Ishawn Funny. And he will occupy that defensive tackle spot, the nose guard right over the center. Cameron Booty got up also after that run, a little bit gimpy, guys. You might want to keep an eye on that. He's still limping as he's going to go out to the left-hand side. 4 seconds left on the play clock. Lowe asking for the ball, gets it with 2. Naked bootleg out left-hand side. Travis Taylor there, but Lowe dives. Did he get it?
No signal.
Officials, no signal. They're still looking at each other.
I'll be honest, it looked like he had the ball across the line.
Did a really nice job of stretching and trying to get that. Jalen
Looks like
Lowe.
they're going to say knee was down, so put it about the 1-yard line.
Boy, and that was a naked bootleg with nobody out there to help him. He was all on his own, and Travis Taylor read it great, and Jalen Lowe just sold out.
Yeah, and really a great effort by Jalen Lowe right there to reach the ball out to try to outrun Travis Taylor, and we saw that as now we got an official review.
Boy, we were doing so good, weren't we?
You said it.
4:27 left to go in the third. Got to take a 2-minute timeout for an official review. Was it a touchdown or not? Back with more on KINA. After the review, they say Jalen Lowe was down. So the ball at the 1 for the Dodge City Loss. Second down and goal. Here's Cameron Booty. Went right up the gut, and he will score. Booty in the end zone as Cameron scores the first touchdown for the Dodge City Loss since back in the first quarter of action. Or excuse me, they scored one really early second quarter.
Yeah, Cameron, with running as hard as he does, he's almost kind of like Tracy Brooks when you're down there, when he gets a downhill head of steam, especially when he goes in motion. You know, Tracy Brooks starting at a dead stop in the backfield, Cameron Booty coming in motion. It's really hard for Salina to step up and stop right there, as it looks like they thought they were going to go for 2, but now Brett Mathis out on for the extra point.
Mathis on for the point after. Had one blocked earlier by Latimer. Trying to make this a 15-point game. Snap a little bit high. Mathis, though, puts his leg into it, and he gets it through the uprights. 38-23, that brings us to a media timeout. 3:19 left to go here in the third. Salina 38, Dodge City 23 here on KINA. Tony's Pizza Event Center, 3:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Dodge City has scored their first points since back with 11:37 left to go in the second quarter. And Brian, I know that last drive was aided a lot by that pass interference penalty, but Dodge City did a nice job of riding Cameron Booty down the field for a touchdown.
Yeah, Dodge City's going to stay. You know, I'm surprised that they haven't just kind of gone away from the run, but altogether. But Booty continues to be the guy that they go to. You know, you mentioned the pass interference play, but also let's not forget, you know, prior to that, hate to bring it up, Kendrick Harper had that potential interception that you know, just kind of slipped out of his hands. He did come back just prior to coming back on the air. Got at least 15 push-ups in behind the bench. So he is kind of taking matters into his own hands on that.
Yep, K-Hop had one up in the air that was ripe for the picking and just could not bring it in. And Dodge City goes through and they continue the drive. Booty in the end zone, 38-23. The leading rusher from Champions Indoor Football this year by 15 yards over Tracy Brooks. Showing why. A really well-designed scheme for him by Richard Davis and this Dodge City coaching staff. Brett Mathis has his hand in the air, slides that football all the way over to the right-hand side as he views it. He'll kick it to Dominic Carson, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Here comes DC, 5, 10, 15, 20. Slips through a tackle, stumbles down to the 25, and a crowd of people at the 20 of Dodge City, and brought down there. Boy, Dominic Carson has touched the ball 3 times in this game and made an impact on all 3 times so far.
Yeah, just a half cut away there from breaking it. If he could have planted his foot about a half yard sooner, ran into the back of one of his own guys, and looked like, I don't know, Jaden Dobbs might have been in there on that tackle. And, you know, Dominic nonetheless giving him great field position, and kind of a name we haven't called a lot, Jaden Dobbs. Usually when we see him around, his name being brought up a lot.
Jaden, the leading tackler in Champions Indoor Football this year, just edging out Naquan Thomas for the Salina Liberty, both linebackers. 3 wide receivers, right-hand side. Tracy Brooks goes underneath the formation, takes the quick handoff from Tyree Adams, and Tracy explodes for 6 yards on first down. That'll bring up second down at 4 o'clock, continues to run. 2:35 left to go here in the third quarter. Liberty leading by a full 2 possessions, 38-23.
And once again, the guy furthest down the field, nonetheless, Kamali Matthews, just leading the way as Huron O'Neill continues to pound that right side of the offensive line.
Tracy Brooks will go to that side, out wide as a receiver in motion. Shelley, Bird, Smith to the left. They run the same play. This time Tracy Brooks sweeps from right to left. He gets inside the 5, destroys a Dodge City defensive back while he gets there. And again, Kamali Matthews down the field. Brian, how is Kamali beating Tracy Brooks to these spots? He's always out in front.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you. That guy just continues to just motor. And it's funny. It appears, he's going down and just wants to get in the face of those Dodge Cities players. But then when you see him turn around and work this way, you can just see he's just smiling and having fun.
Oh, yeah. Molly at that right tackle spot. First down and goal from the 5. Pitch out Tracy Brooks again. He has it inside of the 5. Another pancake block for Kamali Matthews. Nick Bittinger in there as well. And Tracy Brooks will advance it to the 1.5-yard line. Second down and goal from there.
Yeah, Lance Matthews from Dodge City has really kind of been the brunt of this Kamali Matthews blocking show.
From the 2, second down and goal. 3 receivers to the right-hand side. See if they go back to Tracy Brooks here. Under a minute left to play in the 3rd. Pitch out Brooks. Finds a crease. Plants it. Tries to get in there. That time, Lance Mathers able to make the tackle from behind. As Brooks maybe got a half a yard or maybe a full yard. They're going to say he's down at the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal now. And this clock continues to run. Salina will have to get one more play off here as there's about a 6-second discrepancy between game clock and play clock. But Coach Ron O'Neill, not in any hurry here. I think he's downshifted into about 3rd gear and just chewing some clock while chewing up yardage. Again, this Salina offense has not been stopped. They've scored every time they've had the football. Heavy on the left-hand side. Here's flags. This is going to stop the play. And Tracy Brooks gets body slammed by Demaria Mixon.
Yeah, I don't know how you can really get up and flex after you've thrown a guy down who has stopped on the whistle. We'll see what. There was a lot of movement on both sides of the ball there.
It really was, and now the officials will speak about it.
So the clock should run once they get the ball back, so that should end the 3rd quarter.
8 seconds on the game clock right now. 38-23 is our score. Tyree Adams so far in this game has been really good. 4 touchdowns for Tyree. A rushing touchdown for Tracy Brooks. A field goal for Jimmy Allen. Offsides against Dodge City. That will amount to about half a yard.
Yeah,
Ed Smith will come off.
Huron O'Neill asking if the clock's going to start, which it looks like the White Hat will wind it up here.
They're bringing Travis Taylor in here on offense.
Yeah,
And that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Huron O'Neill will have a chance to get this set up. At the end of 3, Salina 38, Dodge City 23. Salina knocking on the doors. We start the 4th quarter. When we come back, you're listening to Salina Liberty football as they play the Dodge City Law in the championship semifinal on KINA. Just about ready to start fourth quarter action. Salina Liberty lead at 38-23, knocking on the door looking for more. They will have to make the long trek all the way back on the other side of the field. About 49 yards, Brian Berner, as the Liberty will start out here on your end of the field with a 3rd and goal at the half-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and goal, half-yard line. You really can't get much closer than this. And I would anticipate Tracy Brooks.
Well, Travis Taylor, the defensive end, is in there now.
There you go.
We used to see this formation a lot. We have not seen it this year at all. But Travis Taylor will line up as basically a lead blocker in front of Tracy Brooks in the I formation, and Tyree Adams will be under center. That's exactly where Tyree Adams is going to line up. Taylor right behind him. Tracy Brooks behind Taylor in the I. And movement all over the place. This started out on the left edge with Waheem Bird. And now Nick Bittinger rips his helmet off. And he said he's going to take the penalty. Does the official? He said that's on 5-4. Oh, man, that just kills you. Get a penalty on the defense, it's 6 inches. You get one on the offense, it's 5 yards.
Yeah, it was just a tough break there, and Nick knew it as soon as he jumped. And you like a guy who will own up to that. He wasn't trying to blame it on anybody else. I just jumped to start. And we interviewed Nick, I believe it was at Sioux City, and just one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll talk to on this team.
Taylor off the field now. They put an extra receiver back out there. So it's Tracy Brooks and 3 wide receivers. Tracy's lined up as a receiver, and Dodge City's going to come in, and they are going to level Tyree Adams. Back at the 13-yard line is where he's going to land, but he was hit at about the 11. They're going to say Tyree had forward progress there, and boy, that did not take any time at all as Dodge City brought the blitz. And now Coach Ron O'Neill will have to bring Jimmy Allen.
Yeah, really no time. Tyree barely even got the ball in his hand. He couldn't even take a 2-step drop, and Dodge City was right there in his lap.
That was sacked by committee, Brian, for the law.
The only thing that comes to mind is that quote from Ron Burgundy, that escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. So the line of scrimmage now is at the 11-yard line. Tracy Brooks is going to take a knee. Placement of the football will be at the 13-yard line. This will be, or excuse me, the 18-yard line. This will be a 26-yard attempt. Early on, fourth quarter. Snap is good, placement is down. Jimmy Allen's kick is up and good. He remains perfect on the day. And that's a huge kick, guys, because now Salina has reestablished a 3-possession lead.
Yeah, and Jimmy Allen right there, you said it being perfect. His kickoffs have been excellent. Maybe going for, he is 3-time, maybe going for that 4-time player of the week as we cruise on into Champions Bowl 6 next week.
41-23 is our score. 14:04 left to go in case you missed it last night. The Omaha Beef won on their home field at Ralston Arena. Of course, a big home field advantage there whenever you play at Ralston Arena for the Beef. At the Slaughterhouse, they edged out the Sioux City Bandits. Those two have been rivals forever. 40-39, the final score. So the Omaha Beefs sitting, waiting, seeing who their next opponent will be and where they will play. Of course, we mentioned before, if the Liberty hang on and win this game, they are the #1 seed. They will host here in Salina at the Pepperoni Palace at Tony's Pizza Event Center. If they lose and Dodge City wins, then Omaha has to get ready to host the party at Ralston Arena next week, Brian.
Yeah, I've been waiting to say this all night, so you queued me up. Here at the Pepperoni Palace, we don't like any beef.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Russ, I made you laugh.
Yeah, you got me there. It caught me off guard a little bit.
I'm glad you laughed. He's been working on that since April.
I've been saving that thing up for so long now.
You'd have been mad if somebody else would have thought of that.
Jimmy Allen has it teed up almost in the middle of the field.
Actually, that's a shout out to our old man Tyler Henry.
Yes. The king of beefisms. There's a high end over and kick by Jimmy. This is going to be just over the wall. Boy, that barely missed the wall, but it did go over, and that will give Dodge City good field position at the 25-yard line. Russ, I think that is the only thing that Jimmy Allen has done wrong in this game.
Yeah, and really it was because the secondary, or the rest of the kickoff coverage team there had beat about every blocker at midfield as that ball just kind of hung up in the rafters up here at the Tony's Pizza Event Center and came down just a skosh. I thought maybe Brian would try to catch it instead of dodging out of the way, but
no, he wanted no part of that. Jalen Lowe's gone the distance here for the Dodge City Law. He's back out there conferring with head coach Richard Davis, and he will now relay that play and that strategy to his offensive unit. 13:48 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 41-23, Salina leading. Rusty Becker in there at nose guard over the center. Lowe steps up, he gets hit, drops the football off to Cameron Booty on the right-hand side, and Booty couldn't drop it low enough to catch that football, was down by his shoelaces.
Yeah, and Rusty Becker, just a great penetration there to get Lowe right as he was falling down to get it to Cameron Booty.
Second down, still in midfield. Taylor on the right-hand side, Latimer on the left, Becker in the middle. Behind them, Naquan Thomas. It looks now Brashawn Stewart has gone more from a linebacker to a defensive back in this set. He'll join Barfield, Matthews, and Harper. Here's the give. Cameron Booty. Nope, they're going to fake it. It fooled everybody, including me. And Lowe is going to take this on a 15-yard scamper. Jalen Lowe all the way to the 10. First down for Dodge City. They'll move the chains and have a first down and goal from the 10-yard line. What a play.
Yeah, Jalen Lowe does it. He plays that read option so well at that quarterback position.
Pretty good. Dodge City hurrying up now. Sense of urgency. They run the same play. Lowe out to the left. He'll get 4.5 before he runs into Barfield. Isaiah will stop him there just short of the 5. Travis Taylor also giving chase from behind.
Yeah, and Lowe took another shot as Barfield kind of stood him up right there against the wall with Travis Taylor had him wrapped down low.
Dodge City comes to the line of scrimmage as we go under 12 minutes left to play. Extra lineman, glorified fullback, whatever you want to call it in the backfield, still here for Dodge. Cameron Booty takes the handoff, and he falls down. Booty down at the 5.
We got tackled by the 7.
Jake Latimer looking to the bench. He's asking for somebody.
Oh, he wasn't coming out. He was asking if somebody else needed
Travis Taylor, the last couple plays I've noticed, has come over and he's bending over. And it looks like he got dinged up or something. I think Latimer was going to get Taylor out of the game, bring Ishawn Funny in, but then he looks at Travis Taylor, points at him, and Taylor said,
Yeah.
So then Latimer waved Funny back off the field. Big play here, 3rd and goal from the 5. Lowe, back to pass, under pressure, has to duck under Travis Taylor, and he's destroyed by Taylor, Becker, and Latimer. Oh my goodness, the house just fell down on Jalen Lowe, back at the 9-yard line, and a big sack for the Liberty defense.
You think Jake will believe him now when Travis says, no, I'm good, I got one more play in me?
Yes. Now Latimer will come off here for a 4th down. Ishawn Funny in.
And bringing up Brett Mathis for a field goal here.
Trying to get the 3 back that they just surrendered and make this a 2-possession game.
When you got probably one of the best kickers to play the indoor game.
Mathis will kick this from the 17-yard line. 25-yard attempt. The crowd at T-Peck starting to get into it here. The snap, the hold, and the kick is up and missed wide left. Not a lot of pressure on Brett Mathis that time. It looked like all 3 phases went well up until the kick, and it got pulled wide to the left. So now the Liberty will take over at their own 5-yard line. 10-12 left to go, leading by 18. Brian, that was a huge, huge problem for the Law.
Yeah, there was nothing good about any of that for Dodge City. And it's rare to see Mathis miss like that. It's I don't know what his stats are for the year, but I've got to think he's probably definitely in the 80% accuracy, if not higher.
Especially on makeable field goals like that, you're definitely right. So now, Tyree Adams and his offense that has been very efficient brings their game back out here at their own 5-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Empty backfield around Adams. Tyree looking, little hitch right out to Tracy Brooks. TB will take it at the 10, and then brought down there after a quick 5-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 5. Clock continues to roll here. 9:53 left to go.
Yeah, you wondered there if Coach O'Neill he talked about it to us. He wanted to put up points, and 41, is nothing to shy away from when you only allow 23. But empty backfield there, I thought maybe they would take a shot down the field. Clock's going to run regardless, so.
Two wide receivers to the right. Steinwalks a solo to his left. Tracy Brooks in the backfield. Fake pitch out to Brooks. Crossing route, Steinwalks caught it at the 14. Turns, runs, makes it to the 20. Brought down there. First down for the Liberty. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Steinwalks is, I don't want to say this, Brian, almost too smooth. He just catches the ball and then turns around and somehow finds 6-7 yards after catch every time.
Yeah, he's strong. And, we saw it earlier on the play when he kind of hurdled the guy. He's not afraid to throw out that stiff arm, and those defensive backs just kind of pop off of it.
Chad, a big guy, 6'4", 220. First down and 10 for the Liberty. Adams, empty backfield, another screen play. This one out to Brooks. Brooks will get 2 yards, as those blocks did not formulate quite well enough for the Liberty to break out on that one. They do get 2. It's second down and 8. Meanwhile, clock continues to melt.
I'm with you, Russ. I'm surprised that Coach O'Neill hasn't tried that deep ball. I think he's kind of wouldn't be afraid to try to throw that dagger in right now.
Well, and it seems also they're playing it safe, does it not? I mean, a lot of runs, a lot of screen passes, things like that. You're gaining yardage, but you're not high risk.
And seeing Tyree throw the deep ball early in the season with plenty of accuracy, and really only one to Jason Shelley in this game.
Here's the give underneath. Brooks, as he came from the left wide receiver spot. Kamali Matthews with a pancake block, and the ball comes free, but Nick Bittinger there to recover it. If Tracy Brooks wasn't down, Liberty still have this football because Bittinger was there following his running back.
Yeah, and usually if Tracy Brooks is getting tackled and not scoring touchdowns, those 3 offensive linemen are somewhere near him.
Richard Davis and Kamali Matthews having a verbal exchange.
I don't know if I'd take that one on either.
Well,
just say this, I'm just glad Kamali Matthews is on our side.
Kamali used to be in Dodge City.
Yep.
But not for Richard Davis. He was there with Coach Ron O'Neill. First down and 10 at the 19. Snap back to Adams. Fakes it this time to Brooks. Tyree wants it all to the end zone. Back of the end zone. Over the wall and a catch. Yes! Right in front of Brian Berner. That was fast Ed Smith. And that was really, that was a bad place to land because there's a little substage there with a camera on it. And Ed somehow doubled up and fit right between that crease, Brian.
Yeah, he came back over and went down. And actually, as you said, there's maybe about 1.5 feet, 2 feet at most. And then you're looking at about a 4-foot drop. He went in, and honestly, I'm shocked that he got up as quick as he did because his neck was bent over right at the base of this board. But just dedication, and Ed Smith sees it from start to finish.
He dropped one over at that wall earlier. He was not going to let that one go down as he has his first touchdown of the night. The league leader in receiving touchdowns now, Ed Smith, has 15 touchdowns on the season. His running mate, Waheem Bird, has 2 in this game. He has 12 for the season, and the extra point by Jimmy Allen is up and good. Media timeout with 6:18 left to go in this game. Liberty pull away even further, 48-23 here on KINA. Tony's Pizza Events Center. In the fourth quarter, 6:18 left to go. 48-23 is our score. Devin, Russ, Brian, Big Sam back at Studio Central, putting the rounding 6 minutes on this one as we approach the 9 o'clock hour, about 7 minutes away from the top of the hour. Salina Liberty football brought to you tonight by Salina Wholesale Liquor. 3 locations in Salina, one on Iron and Ohio, one over by Sam's Club, right when you walk in the entrance, and one behind Qdoba over on 9th Street, all in Salina. They are close and quicker, Salina Wholesale Liquor. You know the great thing about Salina Wholesale Liquor, Russ? A lot of people think the one right in front of Sam's Club, you have to have a Sam's Club membership to go into.
No, sir.
No, you don't. And they do a lot of case ordering, too. So if you want a case of something, Brian's going to have a big weekend, you want to go get a case, that's where you go. They'll get discounts.
The Devin discount.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yep.
I prefer the one on Iron as it conveniently is located right next to my office.
And 34 cooler doors. Here's the kick by Jimmy Allen. They're going to pick it up, finally, and try to return it here. This is Gerald Thomas again. Thomas still working. He's dodging heat-seeking missiles all over the place, and finally he's brought down at the 16-yard line. We have a Dodge City Law player down across the way between the 15 and the 20, so we will have to check on him. The coverage for the most part tonight, guys, I think has been okay. There was that one kick return that kind of felled around in the end zone, and then Thomas picked it up and had a big return out of that. But I think other than that, I think it's been pretty good for this Salina Liberty. It's something that they've struggled with this year.
Yeah, and it's as Jimmy Allen gets the ball in the air, if he doesn't get the right bounce and the coverage team or the receiving team can get it on the run, seems to be where Salina struggles. Saw Jimmy Allen after that first 2 kickoffs put the ball in the air and allow the coverage team to get down there, and it has really helped the coverage team for Salina.
Coach Ron O'Neill and this Liberty team looking to make it to the championship game on Saturday. If they host, it will be on Saturday. 6:35 kick here at Tony's Pizza Events Center. We'll have it for you here on KINA and also on the YouTube, Champions Indoor Football. Still working on a Dodge City Law player that is down across the way. Could not see who that Law player is.
It's Ivan King.
Okay, thank you. The Law with numbers just on the back of their jerseys. Again, heard before the game that the Dodge City Law name, branding, whatever you want to call it, going to go away at the end of this year. This team will be rebranded and still remain in Dodge City, just have a different name and possibly different other pieces too. And I think Champions Indoor Football is going to be very interesting to watch in the offseason. Of course, you had West Texas down in Odessa did not play due to the pandemic situations. Also Amarillo Venom, same situation. So you would expect those 2 teams to be candidates to come back into the league for 2022. But also there's some things out there floating around. Will Enid get another team back in there? We also know about the team in Billings that will be there. We've heard rumblings of teams in Rapid City, maybe Loveland, Colorado, maybe Topeka, Kansas. So, this league could easily go from 6 teams this year to 8, 10, 12. I mean, where's the ceiling on this? We don't know.
Yeah, and is there a ceiling? Will this league put a cap on how many teams are in? I would not think so, because you would want to grow the league as much as you could for branding-wise for the CIF. And you talked about Amarillo that we've heard they will be back into the CIF next year. Always tough in every game they play. Always. We went down there in 2019 twice or one time. I know one time for sure.
Yeah.
And that team always brings a struggle to this Salina. Not only Salina, but everybody in the league.
Yeah. Of course. Brian?
Good places to eat in Amarillo, too.
Yep, absolutely.
That's how I plan this league around. Good places to eat.
So that will all be processed and decided through the league office in Omaha in the offseason. Here's Dodge City now with the ball. First down and 10 from their own 18-yard line. Here's the read option. Jalen Lowe dropped the football, but it bounced right back to him. Now he's dancing and looking. Doesn't have anybody. Now he's going to take off and run. Brashawn Stewart behind him. Spin move, splits 2 defenders, and then brought down at the 17-yard line. Jalen Lowe tonight has impressed me, guys. I mean, he has been just a gritty player, and the passing game really not working out for Dodge City for one reason or another, whether it's pressure or coverage, but Jalen Lowe just keeps these drives alive.
Yeah, and You know, he gets up the field. He sees the field real well. Give credit to this Salina secondary. Might be one of the better games. I know they don't throw a lot, but when they do drop back to pass, he's up the run.
48-23, Salina leading it. Dodge City trying to crawl back into it. Here's Cameron Booty up the middle, shakes off a tackler. Now a spin move. Booty down inside the 10 to the 7. Booty shaking everywhere on that one as he got rid of 3 or 4 defenders.
Yeah, and another first down. As I don't know what their rushing average has got to be, but they got to be averaging 5+ yards a carry.
Yeah, and Cameron Booty having a really good game. Of course, we've talked about it, the league leading rusher by 15 yards over Tracy Brooks, and they kind of had polar opposite seasons. Tracy got up to a really good start, and then kind of fell off a little bit because he was doing so much for this team. Cameron Booty came on in the second part of the season and did so much for his team, helped him get into the playoffs. Here's a snap again. Give to Cameron Booty. Slide step at the 7. Made it to the 5, maybe, but then brought down there. Naquan Thomas, Brashawn Stewart, and Dontre Matthews all with a solid tackle at the 5-yard line. Clock continues to roll now. 4:19 left to go in this game.
Yeah, as Rusty Becker checks in for Ishawn Funny here as they get kind of notice that really has been the only rotation. I've brought it up before, but when they get down, they play Ishawn Funny when they're about midfield or behind. And when they get in the red zone area, Rusty Becker comes in.
Second down and goal from the 5. Becker is in there now. Latimer on his left, Taylor on his right. Under 4 minutes left to go. Here's the fake to Booty. Low, shakes off Latimer. Now he's in trouble. He gets tattooed by Naquan Thomas at the 10. Boy, Lowe did a really good job eluding Jake Latimer with the spin move, but right when he turned and faced the goal line, there was Naquan with a solid stick.
This might be the best swarm tackling that we have seen from Salina. Yeah, we've seen Jalen Lowe get out of many tackles, but if he is hitting the backfield and gets out of one, there's somebody else right there to bring him down.
Loss of 4 on second down brings up third down and goal from the 9. IFL first ballot Hall of Famer Haran O'Neal asking this Tony's Pizza Event Center crowd to get off their butts and do some noise. Low, empty backfield, back to pass. Here comes Latimer, he's held. Low gets rid of the football, and it's going to be caught. What a play! What a play, and Latimer complaining to the official about being held. I thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
And now the touchdown for Dodge Cities. They execute a super passing play for a 10-yard touchdown.
Yeah, once again, Lowe just hangs in there again till the last second to get it downfield to at least give his receiver a shot. That ball was thrown up for grabs, and there was 4 guys, 1 Dodge City player, 3 Salina players, and the Dodge City guy comes up with it.
Wow. They will keep the offense on the field here and try to make this a 17-point affair. Right now it's 48-29. 4 seconds left on the play clock. Lowe again with an empty backfield. Has a crease. Throws it up. Little shovel pass, Brett Favre style in the back of the end zone, and Dodge City scores again. 3:04 left to play. 48-31 is our score. As we are winding down fourth quarter, Dodge City not done with this game yet. And Brian, what a great play there by the Dodge City Law, but I think everybody in the building thought there should have been a flag on the hold against Jake Latimer.
Yeah, Latimer, it looked from this angle like he might have been held as well, but give Dodge City credit. They didn't give up. They got that touchdown. Take advantage of the height. 6'4", 220 Torrance Carr out of Oklahoma State, and then follow up to Zuri Davis for that 2-point shovel pass. So, there's no quit in this Dodge City team, but, right now, not only are they going up against Salina, they're also going to go up against the clock.
3:04 left to go in this one. Both teams do have all 3 timeouts remaining, and a big drive here coming up for the Salina offense, Russ. I know they have a 17-point lead, but they can put this thing to bed here with a good drive and a time-consuming drive.
Yeah, because you're sitting at a three-possession game right now with a 48-31 score. But, yeah, Salina can take this one down, not only take the clock down, but put one in the end zone late in the clock. Yeah, this pretty much seals this one for Salina.
Guys, Coach O'Neal kind of shuffling things around right now with his receiving group. He's putting Dominic Carson to be the only one back, but everybody else, you're going to consider your all-hands team. So they're expecting this onside kick from Brett Backus.
Steinwalks, Barfield, Brooks, Shelley. Bird, Fast Ed, Travis Taylor, all out there on that front line.
We got the whole offense except for Tyree Adams out there on this receiving team.
But he was asking.
Bet he was. Dominic Carson, meanwhile, stands in between his own 10 and 15-yard lines. See what Brett Mathis wants to do here. Dodge City needs to steal possessions. This may be a way to do it. Mathis approaches, and he's going to squib it. And it's going to be attacked and taken by Chad Steinwachs.
The receiver over here on the near side, we got a flag on the field, was about 3 yards offside. It was the first one to make contact with Chad Steinwachs.
Boy, and what Steinwachs did there, I mean, it takes guts of steel to do that, but that's exactly how you want to approach that. Don't sit and wait on the ball to come to you.
Go get it.
Go attack the football. That's exactly what Chad did with his big frame.
Yeah, because the ball had already gone 10 yards by the time it had got to him, so he knew he had to go up and get it, but clearly offsides on the kicking team. So that is half the distance to the goal in the indoor game. So Salina will have it first and goal at the 6-yard line.
Shortest field of the night for Salina. They had a 16-yard field earlier in this game, back in the first half, in which they scored a touchdown. They have not been stopped on any given drive yet. They have not turned the ball over either. 2:49 left to play. The clock has been started and it is rolling. 48-31, a chance for Salina to maybe drive the final nail in the coffin of this game. Tyree Adams. Actually, Mitch Kidd into the game now. Mitch Kidd's going to hand it off to Tracy Brooks. So Magic Mitch in there getting some reps as both quarterbacks active here on the playoff roster. Tracy Brooks will take it to the 4.
Tyree kind of taking it easy down there behind Brian. He obviously is done for the evening and played a great game. Really his first full game back since that injury at Sioux City.
Yeah, he played the first half in his return against Wichita 2 weeks ago. Looked great. 3 touchdowns, I believe, all to Jason Shelley.
Yep, 4. Oh, no, yeah, 3 to him.
He has 5 here in this game, no interceptions. 12 of 16 passing. Pitch out, Kidd to Tracy Brooks. Brooks looking for space, carries the pile down to about the 1, and that clock will continue to run. Salina can't take this all the way to the 60-second warning, but it can be close. They're about 7 seconds off of that.
And no timeouts, no attempt to be timeouts by Dodge City. So, would have expected with 3 on the board, Richard Davis might have attempted to use any of those, but maybe he's just said, you know what, enough's enough, let's just get this done.
Could be the last minute 19 of the Dodge City Law franchise.
That wasn't even supposed to exist at the beginning of this year.
Nope. Came out of Enid, went into Dodge City, made the best they could out of it, edged into the playoffs. And now a timeout will be taken by Salina as they took that play clock down all the way, the most that they could. Now 1:08 left to go here in this game. So Dodge City did not get a preseason game in, or a non-conference game of this season. They came in, they were able to get 4 wins. But when you look at their schedule, they are 0-4 against playoff teams. They did not play Sioux City this year, so they never got a chance to see the Bandits. And they are 0-4 combined coming into this game against Omaha and Salina, losing to each team twice.
Yeah, and just kind of squeaked. We talked about it. The Salina, Omaha, Sioux City, really, not really Sioux City so much, just Salina and Omaha kind of separated themselves, and it was kind of a jumbled up mess at that 3, 4, 5 position.
1:08 left to play here. 3rd down and goal. Football setting just outside the 1 as Kelvin McCoy grabs it with his left hand. 3 receivers on the right. Kidd will send him in motion. Handoff underneath. Tracy Brooks, TB2, dives for the end zone and a touchdown. 2nd rushing touchdown of the night for Tracy Brooks, and that will do it. With 1:05 left to go, Salina has extended their lead 54-31. Tracy at midfield now, looking for somebody to deliver that football to.
They better hurry up because he's got to hold the snap on this extra point as well.
Play clock down to 20. 15. Jimmy Allen looking over his shoulder, waiting on his holder.
They're resetting the
That's a celebration reset
yeah.
or something. Kelvin McCoy will snap it back here. Tracy will hold. Jimmy Allen will attempt the kick. Good snap again by Kelvin. He's done such a good job tonight. Jimmy Allen up and through. He has been perfect this evening on all kicks. 55-31. 1:05 left to go. Well, Brian, think you can go ahead and put in your planner that you'll be here again next week?
Yeah, I think I'll free next Saturday night up. Should be fun. You know, two franchises that play hard, that I think respect each other, but don't like each other. It's what it's all about. Both teams are going to come out and play extremely hard. A reunion of sorts for some of the Omaha Beef that used to call Salina home. And an opportunity for Coach Haran O'Neill and his team to finish what they started. You know, it's still, I still think a lot back to that last play a couple of years ago down at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And I think ever since then, you know, it's kind of been some unfinished business to take care of.
Well, and if you're going to dial up an opponent, I think Omaha is the team because they are the team that gave Salina, as you said, Russ, their only loss of the season. When you look over the last 6 weeks, Omaha gave Salina the best competition. Omaha is one of those teams that can get it done any given way. I mean, they can pass the ball. They can run the ball. They have a great defense, secondary, middle level, defensive line.
Yeah.
They're very well coached. I mean, they're a team. It seems like these two were on a collision course when we started the season.
Yeah.
They were the two teams that were kind of picked. They came in here, and really it wasn't that great of a game. But then when things kind of straightened out and Salina went to Omaha, Omaha was ready from the get-go, from the very first play, and it was a great game.
And everybody, as Jimmy Allen's kick goes against the wall about the 6-yard line, it really isn't the same game thinking about it as we hit the 1-minute break here with 55-31.
Salina has a big lead. Dodge City with the ball as we round it out when we come back here on KINA. (55-31) our score. 1 minute left to play. Salina Liberty looking to finalize this, get their 11th win of the season. That is the most in Champions Indoor Football. Dodge City looks to take their 7th loss of the season. They will finish at 4-7. And when they reemerge, cannot confirm this, but just hearing rumblings, and of course rumors are fun.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to
Always.
reemerge the Southwest Kansas Storm, something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what we heard. Once again, they're rumors. There is some known facts of teams coming back, but
more the merrier.
Yeah,
we need all
'em.
the teams. First down and 10 for the Law. Cameron Booty will finish it out. A little bit of a stiff arm there on Brashawn Stewart. Stewart took a dive could not get him. Rusty Becker comes up to make the tackle along with Isaiah Barfield, as Cameron Booty made it inside the 15-yard line to the 13 and then ran against the wall there, or no? The clock is not running.
Now it is.
Now they're going to start it. Had to move the chains. So again, Salina Liberty put up one of the largest point totals against this very good Dodge City defense that they have given up all season long. Lowe has to one-arm this snap. Now trying to get to the outside. He is going to be brought down before he gets to the wall. Clock continues to run, and that might do it. 23 seconds on the game clock.
See if Richard Davis wants to get one more play off, or it looks like he's just going to let this one run down here.
12 seconds on the game clock. Play clock has almost a half a minute. And that'll be it. 55-31, our final score. Richard Davis and Dontre Matthews exchange greetings. And the Salina Liberty will get their 11th win of the season, and the celebration begins. Looking forward to the game next Saturday night here at Tony's Pizza Event Center as the Omaha Beef will come to town. Will be the third matchup of the season between the Beef and the Liberty, and they will have split each of them winning on their home field throughout the regular season. In this game, Tyree Adams was spectacular.
Yeah.
Houdini comes out and he throws 5 touchdown passes. Tracy Brooks, the leading rusher with touchdowns in Champions Indoor Football, added 2 more onto his total. Ed Smith, the leading receiver when it comes to touchdowns, adds a receiving touchdown onto his total. Waheem Bird, 2 touchdowns on his total.
Jimmy Allen, perfect on the night.
Perfect, yes.
Jake Latimer.
Yep, all the field goals, all the extra points for Jimmy Allen. Jake Latimer, the MVP on defense in this game, he was sensational. As Jake Latimer came in and he was ready to play. He was on special teams, on defense, on offense. He's probably trying to get on offense too.
Yeah.
And Coach Ron O'Neill down celebrating. As he has a football, he's looking for somebody.
I think he's going to.
He's wanting to give the football to his dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, Coach, take your time.
Absolutely. Of course, if you missed it in pregame, Ron O'Neill's father here in attendance.